It tastes sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
BetDavid.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right. So I don't know if you're following the feud or not. Obviously, a massive bomb was dropped just an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago on Twitter that led to a bunch of different things. Elon Musk, Rob, if you can pull up the tweet, tweeted at 3:10 Eastern Standard Time, time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. This thing gets 581,000 likes, 212,000 retweets, 100+ thousand comments, 49 million views in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Rob, if you go a little bit lower, and he doubles down and says, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Alex Jones, timeline pin drop, right? Go back a little bit. He says this. If you go look at today's Tesla stock, Rob, I send you the link in the comment section, in the note section that I have. Tesla had its worst single-day drop-off ever in the history of the company. So when you look at this, Rob, there's a story I just sent to you from Financial Times. It's important for the audience to see this. I put in my notes section. If you go to it, I send it to your text as well. It's important to see this because this shows the correlation of what's going on. When you look at how Tesla was affected by this, it's not a small drop-off. 14% plunge in biggest one-day valuation drop on record for Tesla, okay? On record for Tesla. So just imagine how his day's been today, right? The sell-off erased $153 billion of valuation from Tesla, the single biggest ever. Go to the next slide, Rob, if you could, and watch what it shows. These are the other days. June 5th, 2025 goes down as the worst. The other one was 25 March, 2 months ago. And then you see the rest. So it's not been a good day for Musk. Now, earlier, when the whole big, beautiful bill, Musk dropped a tweet a couple days ago saying, look, I'm just going to say it. It's not a big, beautiful bill. Then Trump earlier today, while I was doing a podcast with Charlie Kirk, Trump came out and said a few things. Rob, if you want to put out the video, I don't know if you have the video or not, what Trump said. I'll read this if you have it, if you want to go back to it. No, what you just said, put it right there, I'll read it. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So it's not like this is a one-sided thing. They're going back and forth. Rob, there was a video that the president is saying, he's probably next thing he's going to say some bad things about me. I don't know if you guys saw that video or not. You saw it when Charlie Kirk played it today while we were talking. And while all this stuff is going on, by the way, apparently, allegedly is a better phrase to use. Is this it, Rob?
He hasn't said bad things about me personally.
That's the one.
Okay, yep.
That's the one. Watch this.
You've done a great job. Elon knew that. Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually
Rob,
went up
too
and
loud.
campaigned for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, I feel sorry for him. But they made a bad choice with him. But if you pick Shapiro or anybody else, I spoke to him recently about his house being set on fire, which was terrible. But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have we want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, it became a little bit different. And I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. he said the most beautiful things about me. And
But-
he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next.
That's right.
But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Right. So, Rob, I can't hear myself. If you guys want to turn the mic on, I cannot hear myself now. Let me check this here. Okay, much better now. So you see that being said, and all of a sudden, allegedly, while we're going through this, of course, the Democrats are going to capitalize off this. They just tweeted this an hour ago, kill the bill and release the Epstein files. Elon Musk just unfollowed Stephen Miller, unfollowed Charlie Kirk, and unfollowed Trump, all on X. That just happened. And while this is going on, more continuation of what he said. A guy named Ian Miles Chung. Rob, I don't know if you saw this one or not. A guy named Ian Miles Chung goes out there and tweets something. If you can go to his handle, this is very interesting what he tweets. He tweets out there, if you go to his account, he goes out there and tweets the following. Now, you either trust this guy, you don't trust this guy. Go a little bit lower, Rob. Go a little bit lower. Go a little bit lower, a little bit lower. Lower, lower, lower. There's a tweet he puts out where he says they should impeach Trump. And right there, that's one. Go a little bit lower. President versus Elon. Who wins? My money is on Elon. Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. Weird. And guess who retweeted that? Elon Musk did. Elon Musk retweeted that. So if you can go on Elon Musk's tweet, Rob, go on Elon Musk's tweet. Musk retweets that. What is he saying? So Musk is officially called for the impeachment of President Trump. Right there, yes. So this just got bad from a big, beautiful bill to all this stuff. And now, if you use your imagination, God knows what happened with that black guy. That black guy, you know, was it a fight that took place? Somebody swung and it really offended Elon. Is like, look what I'm going to do to you guys. Is that a Lutnick? Is that, I don't know who else did it. Who else will be in that room? I don't know who it is. Maybe, but think about it. That doesn't accidentally happen. And you want to do something like this too. Maybe it was a meeting while they're calling each other out and somebody just, because Elon started calling out Trump and it got nasty and then somebody swung and then somebody was a peacemaker bringing it in. I'm not speculating. Remember, the key word is allegedly. We don't know any of this stuff. But the timing of all of this is a little weird. Timing of all this is a little weird. So now I went on X and I ran a poll. And then I'm going to open it up because I want to hear some of the things you guys want to say. Rob, if you can go on my account. I ran a poll and here's what the poll is. I asked, who do you believe more? Simple question. Trump, Musk, or neither? This was an hour, 46 minutes ago. 41,000 people have voted. So that's an ample amount of voters. 41,000. Rob, pick one of them. Look at that. Okay. Nearly twice as many people believe Musk as they do Trump. And you know my audience.
Wow.
This is my audience. This isn't like it's
random.
No, this is not. Poll. So, look, if you're watching this and you enjoy when we go live on these types of things and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And, you know, it's just a weird situation when you see this. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of theories. I'm going to pause here while we're going through this. Vinny, what's your reaction?
Well, first, I want to give credit where credit's due. I don't remember the actual date. How many months ago would you say that we were having a podcast prep and it was the H1B1 debate something? How long, Rob?
What would you say, Rob? 4 months?
That was December.
No, it was after Trump had been elected because it was the H1B1
Trump was elected.
debate.
Trump is in, and guys, and you guys were everybody in this room was there. So I have witnesses. There was a moment where you stopped and you looked outside the window, and it was a long pause, and you shook your head and you said, "This is not going to turn out good." And something about Elon. You mentioned something about Elon, and it's come to pass, and we're seeing it happen live. So I have to give credit. You called this a long ass time ago. Like you said, the timing is off. I know Brandon has a really good theory about Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance, who J.D. Vance has been very, very quiet lately. But I mean, my one thing I took away, because the biggest thing, okay, you could beef, you could talk crap, go back and forth. The bill, I get it, his stock is dropping. If you're saying that Trump is on Epstein's list, you're basically indirectly saying that Donald Trump is a pedophile. If that's true in your mind and he's on that list and that's the only reason, then you knowingly, Elon, are hanging out with a pedophile. You got this pedophile basically in as president, you put $250 million in. So you backed him. You let your child X hang out with them alone. I remember when they were walking on the lawn to go to Marine One. So if that's the case, you're a complete hypocrite. But at the end of the day, what does Elon know about the list? Who's seen that list? And again, I'm over that list because whoever's been looked at it, changed it, FBI, old FBI, new FBI, I don't give a damn about it. But I think this is extremely ugly, and it's not going to stop right now. And he said he withdrew the Dragon. What was it, Rob? He just took out
the Dragon Starship program.
The Dragon thing. He's saying he's scrapping it, so there's no more recyclable rockets. Here's my thing. I voted for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Elon Musk. Thank you for the help, but this is not only disrespectful as shit. I get it with the money, but when it comes to governing this country, that's who I voted for, and I can give two shits what Elon Musk feels about. But mind you though, here we go, and you showed a little bit of it. 6 months ago, the left was calling Elon a Nazi, a legitimate Nazi. Now they're all bending over, and they're all giving it up for freaking Elon now. So how phony and how fake these freaking people are. Fake, phony as hell, all of them.
Okay, so the question I got is, who's going to be the first one that's going to interview him? CNN, MSNBC,
Elon?
someone from CNN
for sure.
Interview. Yeah,
CNN.
But this is
Don Lemon, maybe.
this is a question to be asking, straight up, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Elon's tweet about Epstein is purely trying to get under Trump's skin? It's because he knows something? Where do you think that tweet lies? Do you think there's credibility behind the tweet, or do you think he's just trying to get under the skin?
I think he's trying to getting under the skin because...
What's your ratio? 90-10 under skin?
90-10 under skin. Because the left would have used the Epstein thing before Russian collusion.
Exactly. That's the point.
There's no way. Are you kidding? Yeah.
So
absolutely
where are you
way.
at, Brandon?
Yeah, so I think there's two things here at once. I think that there's truth behind the Trump Epstein connections, but not from the standpoint of him being on the pedo list or anything like that. I think there is a lot of evidence to show that maybe Trump had a lot of blackmail stuff where he used blackmail against people because he was mentored by Roy Cohn. He bought the Plaza Hotel. He bought the boat from the international arms dealer Adnan Khashoggi. So those are things that were allegedly used for blackmail. So I think from that side of things, he could have been involved in that type of stuff, but not the child sex trafficking type of thing, obviously. And Elon, I don't think he's doing this for pure intentions to get under Trump's skin. I think this feels like a coup where Elon's been friends with Peter Thiel since the PayPal mafia days, and feels like a situation where maybe they were trying to get J.D. Vance in, and they saw an angle to do that from that day of the assassination attempt, because it's weird that J.D. Vance becomes the vice president the day after Elon strongly endorses Trump, and they loaded up Doge with Palantir employees. Now they have that Palantir Doge plan going forward. And maybe they were planning this entire time that the second that Trump isn't doing exactly what Elon wants, then they're going to execute this, because Elon wants a technocracy. He thinks that government should not be in charge, that private business owners like the tech elites should be in charge. So, yeah, I think there's two things true at the same time. I think that Trump, he did some stuff where maybe he used blackmail as a currency in the past, but I think Elon has dark intentions. He's not America first.
And real quick, how would they be able to get Trump out? Would the Epstein something list be able to get him impeached?
I don't think they will, because I think there's a reason that the Democrats didn't use that. It's very telling that it's not hard to find stuff that is weird about what Trump did during the 80s with buying certain properties and hanging out with certain people. The left never mentioned that once, and what that tells me is they do not want to touch that thread. The fact that they tried these far-fetched attempts to get him on overpricing real estate, and this girl might have said something, this and that, and never even spoke about the Epstein list, tells me that they have a lot of friends, if not themselves, that are involved with that situation. I think this goes into both parties, and they will not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Yeah,
because if the Democrats have had this for all this time, why didn't they use it? If you have the FBI Epstein list and they have it, Trump's on it, you don't think they're going to do something with it? And why does Trump have so much confidence to be as aggressive as he was running? If you're on that, Herman Cain, people found out Herman Cain had a mistress on the side, and it was public. Within 5 minutes, he dropped that. Him and his wife were arguing in the RV. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
It was out. You think this is going to last this long? Tom, where are you at with this when you've seen all this back and forth?
So I think the story is not, Epstein, and all that. That's not the story, because I agree with everything that's been said. Don't need to add to it.
Dems and other people, opposition, would have used that long ago if there was a scintilla that they could grab onto. No, I think this is Elon has just picked one of the biggest, most carefully stated pokes you could use, because everyone is waiting for the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And everybody's and he's very concerned. I go back to 10 days ago, before we came in today, I looked back, and 10 days ago, it was leaking out that Elon had said when he was stepping away, I got to get back to my my companies. This is killing me. And he made that comment.
Yep.
And if in fact the $7,500 incentive is going to be cut and it's going to be rolled back, that hurts Tesla tremendously. When's the last time Tesla rolled out a new model? Yeah, exactly. They got the big one, they got the little one, they got the truck, and they got the Y with the mini SUV with the wings. There's been nothing going on at Tesla in terms of new product, unless they're about to get one. They've talked about the Roadster coming back, but there hasn't been anything. And they're just trying to sell. And so they're trying to run as a real car company, and they're trying to sell. They need that subsidy. So if that subsidy got cut out, I could see him being really pissed. Because, wait a minute, I did $250 million worth of help to get you guys elected, and nobody's watching my back on the $7,500 subsidy, and it's not a new president. All you guys got to do is make it stay. It's not, you don't have to give me anything. Just leave it be, because everybody gets it. But I suffer more because I'm a much higher market share here. So I feel that part of it. And then there's another part of me that just wonders, man, are we watching an op? Is this weird? You know, I traded DMs back and forth, Mark Mitchell Rasmussen, a half hour ago. And it's like both of us are looking at this. Are they trying to, is this staged? Is this an op? There's so much to it that just seems so weird and out of the blue. So there's a little 5% of me that says, is this something crazy here that we're not seeing? But nothing on Epstein. It is a world-class poke because everybody's waiting for those files. And I think Elon,
yeah, by the way, Steve Bannon said Elon Musk should be deported. He's an illegal alien. He should be out. So already you're seeing what camp everybody is going.
Alien.
You just saw a tweet from Elon Musk. If you go back up to Elon Musk, he ran a poll. 2.2 million people have voted for this poll, and look what it says. 80% agree with him. He ran a poll. Is it time for a third party? Okay, so zoom in. Is it time to create a new political party in America that can actually represent the 80% of middle America? Type one of them, Rob. Okay, 82% agree with them. Can you go to comment section, please, to see who commented in it? Just go in the comment section. Watch who's in there. Andrew Yang, okay.
Working on it, of course.
Keep going. You're going to see Shanahan. Watch this one here, what they tweeted. No, go up there to that one, Rob. Go up to that one. So look at this. And Elon Musk commented on that one.
Not Jerome.
I have a plan to cut spending. Guy reads it. How? Increase spending. So that's the joke. And Elon Musk laughs on it. Keep going a little bit lower. Keep going lower. Nicole Shanahan, you're going to see there. You're going to see a bunch of different people. We just need to vote in the right people. So this, Peter Schiff, we don't need a new party in the middle. The Republican and the Democrats are not far apart anyways. Just join the Libertarian Party. It already exists. Maybe you can actually help get some into Congress. Keep going a little bit lower. Keep going a little bit lower. Keep going a little bit lower. You'll see some of the names of who's there. The reason why this is important, when seasons like this happen, you are very easily able to decipher between who's got who's back and who's joining who. So I got a crazy question for you guys. Adam, I'm going to come to you since you're next.
Sure.
J.D. Vance, is he more Team Elon or Team Trump?
Elon.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Tech side.
He's Elon.
Think about his upbringing.
That is not
Pat, you heard,
good.
Pat, you know the upbringing with
I
Thiel.
know.
Oh yeah,
Pat,
he's,
That is
Pat,
not
what
good.
is your perception? You study this a lot.
So
he
well,
better be.
No,
he's
let
money.
me
Let
tell
Pat
you.
talk. Let
buddy.
Pat talk, please.
Yeah. Team Elon, if J.D. Vance is Team Trump, of Team Elon, and this whole thing about him bashing Trump back in the days and flipping was just a way to have the opportunity coup because Elon and Thiel and all these guys would find a way to get rid of Trump and put J.D. Vance in there because Elon did tweet something very interesting earlier today. And here what the tweet was.
Don't forget Vivek.
Elon tweeted something very interesting. Here's what he said. And food for thought, as they ponder this question, Rob, I'm going to send this to you. You have to see this, okay? Very interesting what he tweets here. Very interesting. Because in life, I remember when I was competing with a lot of younger guys that were coming up with me, and one day I'm on stage 17 years ago, and the girl saying, you're never going to be able to compete with us. I said, you will never, ever build a bigger business than us. Never. She says, why do you? I said, because of one thing. You don't have that we have. Never told her what it was. Of course, if she's listening to it, she knows now. You know what it was?
What?
We were thinking 30, 40, 50 years run. So I was 28 years old. I'm going to a freaking 60-year run. I'm going to be working till the day I die. Here's what Musk said. Food for thought as they ponder this question. Trump has 3.5 years left as president, but I would be around for 40 plus years.
That's actually
That's
true.
exactly what I told you guys. If
Yep.
you remember that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
What he's trying to tell you is, do whatever you want for me for 3.5 years. J.D. Vance is around the corner.
Wow.
And we got more money, more power, and we're going to do it our way. This is a very, now, this is, again, allegedly. I know you were in the allegedly hat yourself. And by the way, for some of you guys that haven't ordered allegedly hat, this is probably the best time ever to order an allegedly hat, allegedly shirt. We got it on vtmerch.com. It's one of our top products. Go to vtmerch.com. Rob, put the link below for this specifically. This is the best season to wear allegedly. Okay, it's a word you ought to add to your repertoire. Well, let me go back to it. Here's the point I'm trying to make to you. If this guy's a long-term thinker, and he has more power, and he has more resources, and they're truly playing 3D chess to get JD in there, and that was their way of doing the deal. If you allow me to choose the VP, I'll put $250 million and go to Pennsylvania, deal. If that moment happened, and him and Thiel, because Thiel wasn't a Trump guy. Remember, Thiel called Trump, they had the conversation. Thiel called Musk, and Musk said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime election. I don't know if you remember this conversation you had with Barry Weiss.
Yep.
And he says, he told me this. When he told me this, I said, he's right. I'm in. What that conversation was, nobody knows. They're two of the most brilliant minds. Peter Thiel figured out a way through Roth IRA to save $6 billion on not paying taxes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people think that way.
He's a long-term thinker, too. Remember
He's
the
an
Gawker thing?
absolute long-term thinker. Brilliant guy. Huh? What would you say?
The Variety, the media outlet that exposed him for being gay. He spent like 6 years plotting a way to bankrupt them.
Oh, you do not screw with long-term thinkers. But in this case, I'm coming to you first, and I'm going to come to the rest of you guys. J.D. Vance. What is J.D. going to be doing? And is J.D. going to be somebody that Trump's going to put on the sidelines and not bring in the room when he's doing the decision-making because he knows he's a part of Thiel and Musk? This is a very weird time for President Trump to be a president.
So treat him as a normal vice president the way the last two administrations have.
That's right. Never get him involved in anything.
Obama did nothing. Obama did absolutely nothing with Joe Biden for 8 years, and Biden did absolutely nothing for Kamala Harris for 4 years. For the last 12 years, our vice presidents have done little more than travel to funerals around the globe, passing out flowers and saying, the American people mourn with you.
And I just checked. He has not, and I know J.D. Vance has not tweeted or said anything, so it'd be very, very telling to see what he's going to say when he does say something.
Good. He should probably keep his mouth shut.
Who's that? Who should keep his mouth shut?
Well, if he had his
He's
back,
the vice president of the United States. He was hand-selected by Donald Trump Jr. Should probably have Trump's back.
He should.
Yeah.
He should say something.
So, can I give a little feedback here?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen long term. I don't know who's going to be right or wrong in the end. I do agree that Elon's going to be around for another 40 years and Trump's got another 3.5 years as president. But as of today, Elon Musk is looking like a petty scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, dude. This ain't a good look. This ain't a good look for Trump. This ain't a good look for Elon. And what I'm most concerned about, this is a horrible look for America. So, when you're starting a business, you always say, be very careful who you take money from. Be very careful who you're bringing on your board. Be very careful who you're bringing around. Exhibit A of why you don't take money from certain people. And then Trump brings him into the Oval Office. Elon's bringing his kid around the Oval Office. And they're playing nice for how long did this marriage take? How long did this bromance take?
6 months.
3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. This bromance is officially over. By the way, speaking of bromances and relationships, I know somebody knows a thing or two about relationships with Elon, and that's my friend Ashley St. Clair. Did you see what she tweeted?
Yeah.
She said, well, listen, Trump, if you need a little breakup advice, I'm here for you. I'm sure we have that tweet somewhere, but that, if you need a little breakup advice, I'm here for you. This is, I'm going to say allegedly in air quotes because it's pretty factual at this point. This is Elon Musk's latest baby mama. I'm sure there's going to be more that come out there. I'll say a couple things about the baby mama thing. The drug use, I know one thing about Trump. This guy said there's 3 things I don't let my kids have. Tattoos, drugs and alcohol, and smoke cigarettes. Put it in any order you want. Elon Musk on his daily medication box, allegedly of ketamine, ecstasy, mushrooms, and Adderall, shows up with a black eye at the Oval Office to get a key from Trump. And then 48 hours later, it's scorched earth. This looks petty all around. By the way, side note, if any other person out there had a half a dozen baby mamas, a baker's dozen kids running around doing drugs, talking about occupying Mars, we'd have a major issue with that person. We'd be like, who's this ghetto ass mother? But Elon Musk, all of a sudden,
guy, though. He's not a regular guy. He's a
I get that he's not a. I get that he's not a regular guy.
Can you go?
But this is a very bad look.
Go to online and ChatGPT and type in side effects of ketamine. What are the side effects of ketamine? Just curious. What are side effects of ketamine? Let's see this here. Short-term, mid-term, long-term. I hope it breaks it down. Okay, good. Disassociation, short-term, hallucinations or vivid dreams, confusion, delirium, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, elevated blood pressure, impaired blood. Okay. Midterm, what is it? Medical side effects, something that increased salivation. Okay, what else? Serious long-term effects, bladder issues, memory problem, depression, mood swings, liver function, addiction, tolerance, and withdrawal symptoms. Yeah. High-dose recreational, profound
that's where it gets ugly, Pat.
Loss of motor control, hallucinations, inability to communicate,
K-holes.
Feeling of near death, or complete ego dissolution. What does that mean? Complete ego dissolution. Tom, what does that word mean?
You basically, your ego goes nowhere, and you just basically lose it all, disassociate from
you
existence.
lose your sense of self.
Yeah. So as you're going through this, the part that we have to ask ourselves is the following. Okay, how is this going to be managed? Because the market right now, the people that are pro-Trump, what are they saying? They say Trump is America first.
100%.
Okay, Elon's not America first. They'll say things like, Elon's is his company's first. He had a rough day, guys. 14%? That's a rough day. Worst day ever for Tesla? It's not a good day. Yeah. Imagine all the calls he's getting, but imagine all the other calls he's getting from the board and all these other things that he's dealing with, right? Mm-hmm. So that's that part, okay? So Trump cares about America, let's just say. He does. Musk cares about his investments and his vision, which is what?
Space, Mars,
vehicles, all this stuff. Trump's about getting all the business here. Elon's doing deals with China and a lot of other places. So, maybe some of the stuff that Trump was doing wasn't financially benefiting him. You would have thought Trump would have done different things with tax incentives of $7,500 to buy EVs, but you go away and he helps you. To somebody that's in Elon's side, they're like, dude, the guy helped you win an election, you cutting that stuff. And Trump's like, look, I think all cars should do well in America. I don't want to just focus on EV because that part was what? It was more of a leftist thing, right?
Well, remember what that was? That was part of the Green New Deal situation.
Right.
And look at what happened to Tesla stock after that bill.
Yeah, that's right. That's something that, one has to be putting in consideration and thinking about this. Tom, for you, one guy said, oh, they're just playing games. They're just toying with everybody. I definitely don't think that's the case. I think this is as real as it gets. This is as real as it gets. How nasty is this, Tom? And moving forward, what does this do to the room that Trump's in? I asked him about Vance. He didn't really go there. I'm going to come to you. What does this do in the room? You're sitting there, Vance, Lutnick, Bessent. You got Cash, Bongino, RFK, Tulsi, Rubio. What's he now doing? Is this now a divided group and you don't know who to trust?
No, I don't think so. Here's what I think is going on in that room right now. I believe that there's a lot of people in that cabinet, good people in the cabinet. I put Susie in this category. I put Rubio in this category, that are relieved. We've been hearing for exactly a month, right about the time of the 100 days, we started hearing that some of the cabinet members were, man, I am so over this Elon and Doge.
Yep.
I'm kind of over this. I don't think this is going the way we thought it would be going. You heard that.
Yep.
I'm over it. It's not going the way we thought it would be. A month ago, you had that. So I think today there are some relieved cabinet members that said, well, here we are. This is the wrong way to do it. This is absolutely a horrible way to do it. We tried to give him the key to the city to get him feel honored and feel flattered and everything and then leave. And then a day later, he goes scorched earth. So I think they're pretty pissed off because a minute ago they were relieved that he was officially gone. And right now I think the room is pretty pissed off. And I think this can galvanize. Remember, when bad things happen, you'll find out who's with you. And I've been in the room with Pat where in the industry we were in, we had to find out who was with us. Who was with us? Which carriers were with us? Which people were supporting us? Because things happen. Economies come, economies go, and the industries make decisions. It's not personal, but you got to find out who's there. And I think what's going on right now, I think he's about to find out who is absolutely with him. I think Bessent is. I think Rubio is. I think Howard is. I think there's relieved people, but that are really frustrated that it went down this way.
Okay, Vinny.
And there's a jet taking off. Right
no, it's all good.
Us.
Go ahead.
So what was the question?
No, Brandon. So why don't you do this, Brandon? Rob, can you play the one clip Brandon has about Whitney Webb? You know which one I'm talking about. This one right here. So Whitney Webb, we've had her on a couple times. She's written some of the most interesting books that talks about technocracy. She doesn't even live in the States, but some of the stuff she says gets picked up, and it's very, very interesting. And when you do some research, what is in this clip here, Brandon?
So this is the first time I've ever heard Epstein be associated with Elon Musk. She says something I've never heard before about a reason why the Justice Department might not have been releasing certain things about Epstein and JP Morgan that were subpoenaed.
Okay, go for it, Rob.
Virgin Islands, because there was this case involving the U.S. Virgin Islands and JP Morgan as it related to Epstein. And that case got settled out of court, so it didn't go to trial. But I believe those documents would be very, very, very telling. But I would argue the reason they won't come out is because one of the people subpoenaed as part of that investigation was Elon Musk.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't necessarily accused of wrongdoing, but was subpoenaed because he was suspected of having had some sort of involvement with Epstein and JP Morgan. And there are allegations, of course, not really allegations, but, it was reported, before Musk was closely affiliated with Trump that Epstein had been advising Tesla and was part of this effort in 2018 to take Tesla private with Gulf oil money or Saudi money. And at the time, Epstein was advising Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, and was also known to have a close relationship with the elite families of the United Arab Emirates, and also Kuwait, and I think Bahrain as well. So perhaps they don't want to have that really be explored at this point. But some of the other figures that were...
Was she talking about Epstein here? All those people, all those relationships?
Epstein
and
Elon
Musk.
as well.
She was saying that Epstein was advising Musk on how to take Tesla private.
But all those other relationships, Mohammed bin Salman, Bahrain.
Epstein was like,
Jesus, this guy Epstein goes deep.
Yeah.
He does.
Well, yeah, if he's tied with the intelligence networks. But I think, so genuinely, who do you think is more powerful though between the two of them right now? Because I think if Elon's gonna be on attack mode, Trump has a small window to knock Musk down a bunch of pegs because Musk gets like 30% of Tesla revenue from China and a lot of money from government contracts. So I wonder what damage could Trump do right now if Trump really wants to go on the offensive and commits to that and tries to take a degree of power away from Musk. Because I mean, if Musk is going to try to use his power like this, then that's not a healthy thing for America. So
that's not a healthy thing for what?
For America. So I'm saying Trump right now has a window to knock Musk down a bunch of pegs. With 30% of Tesla revenue comes from China. A huge amount of his money comes from government contracts from America. So Trump could do a lot to severely hurt Tesla right now if you want. Because, you could almost take this as a threat to national security where this guy's trying to undermine the president. And believe me, I'm mad at both of them for separate things. But, you have to be patriotic on the side of the president when some...
Yeah, so here's President Trump. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done it so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness, make America great again. So now he says that. But a part of this that to me is what would cause an Elon to go nuclear?
I don't think it's about the bill. It's way too extreme for the bill.
It can't be. No. What would make Elon go nuclear? What? You think the black eye is just like, what would make, no, I'm being actually serious with you. What would make Elon go nuclear? It has to be something that was such a humiliating thing for you to go to this levels. And then there had to be a couple calls behind closed doors to make sure he knows he has some other people with him before he goes nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have the other guys that are with you to go nuclear, I don't know. And by the way, you know what you learned here for a fact, that if you talk to him, just so you know, he can at any time turn against you.
Yeah. But what he's essentially saying, though, is that, like, let's say what he's saying is true. He's essentially saying he's okay with being friends with a president who is on the Epstein list if he's doing everything that he wants him to do. But the moment that he doesn't do everything he wants him to do, then he is not okay with that anymore. So, if that were true, like, how does that make him look? He's being selective with when it is a big deal to him and when it's not a big deal to him.
Why do so many people agree with him?
Well, I think I think there is some truth that Trump did maybe blackmail people. You could say allegedly to that. He bought a hotel that was used for blackmail in the past. He bought a yacht that was used for blackmail in the past. His mentor blackmailed a lot of people. But that doesn't mean he did the things that the people on the Epstein list did. That's an entirely different thing that just makes him associate with that world. So I think some people conflate those two things, and some people are upset with Trump with the lack of aggressiveness that he's had. Like, he came in like he was going to disrupt the whole establishment, get rid of the deep state, this and that, but he's being very civil. And that's like probably what I'm most frustrated with him about, is he's being too civil, and he's not like coming down hard on the people who try to take him out and the people that have this administrative state in place.
Yeah, I was listening to a guy earlier saying the fact that the only choice Trump has right now, he has to come super, super hard on Musk, because Musk is not going to stop.
Right.
He won't stop.
And
Musk
he has
is
a
not gonna
window.
stop.
He has a window to do it.
To him?
To Musk.
What could he do to him?
Oh, he could make it so that Musk can't send cars to China, or at least make it not profitable, cut all the government contracts. I mean, that's the thing, though. Musk has a degree of leverage, too, because especially with Starlink. Like, Starlink is super important to the military. A lot of his other stuff has military applications. Palantir is tight with Elon, so they have a lot of military applications, too. So these tech guys, the PayPal mafia, the technocracy guys, they're really tied in and entrenched with the military. So that's where the private sector, it starts to get like, all right, does the military have more power, or do the contractors have more power?
Yeah, but listen, on behalf of America, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, keep your personal issues out of America becoming great again. Like, we are here in America, people are trying to put food on their plate. They're trying to raise their kids. They're trying to make money, have a job, have a healthy lifestyle, like do everything we want to do. We're not here to watch this soap opera of days of our lives with the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world. Like, we're not here for that.
Do you think Elon wants to make America great again, though? Do you think he cares about that at all?
I think if you're using what Elon Musk set out to do, I think the number one thing on his agenda was killing the woke mind virus. And I looked at him aligning with Trump as who's against woke? Trump, I'm going with him. I think there's a very good indication that Elon had never voted for Trump in the past. I think he was more of a Democrat. I think a lot of people were, Joe Rogan, that camp. I think they were a lot of people switched over. I also think that Trump is very vindictive, and I think that Elon is very childish. And I thought this would go at least a year. I mean, did anybody have their money? This was ending in June.
Yeah.
Did you see that coming? But by the way, here's a couple of things to consider, just to kind of open up a different couple conversations. There was always things I was looking at that I was like, that's a weird relationship. Why don't those guys get along? What's this all about? Okay. Sam Altman and OpenAI. Elon Musk hates that guy.
Yeah.
Hates that guy. Trump would bring him around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's an awkward situation. All right. I don't know what kind of conversations are happening. I don't know what's going on there. Number two, Doge. What happened with Vivek? What happened there? Like, in my opinion, Vivek should have been the one running Doge. Elon could have been an advisor. Could have been around. He's already running a dozen other companies, impregnating a half a dozen women. Like, you need another job next to Trump? All right, here's another one for you.
Open that up, will you?
Hold on, let me just finish.
No.
Hold on.
Your point deserves for you to follow it up, because we processed deeply, and you did on this podcast. You did about how that tweet was so hit the wrong way, Vivek's tweet, that so much weight and heat came against him that he had to step back.
Correct. And part two to that, and I would like to revisit that with you, was on the heels of the whole H-1B visa situation. Vivek weighed in, Steve Bannon weighed in. It basically, MAGA 1.0 and MAGA 2.0 are starting to feud.
And Vivek's
so what happened
comment
with
was
that?
America not quite exceptionalism.
Yeah, because Vivek I don't know, kind of speaks the truth. Some people are just lame as hell and they're entitled. The Epstein situation, okay, we talked about that. Makes a lot of sense why Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are kind of keeping mum's the word. So, and this big, beautiful bill. By the way, who in the administration did we actually hear of Elon feuding with? Do you remember who it was? Well, it was Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Do you remember that? So Elon's in here having issues with key components of the administration. And it was sort of a lipstick on a pig for $250 million. And now we're basically seeing what happens. And then here's the last thing. What was the relationship with Susie Wiles? Correct. Chief of Staff.
Yeah, this from April, inside Elon Musk's dangerous battles with Trump's Ice Maiden. And in it, they talk about Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff.
You know, this goes back to my initial point. Careful who gives you money. Elon basically gave $250 million, bought his way into the White House, him and his kids, piggybacking over here. And now he has the audacity to take down, or at least attempt to take down, the President of the United States. Now, Trump dealt with some assassination attempts, before he became inaugurated. This is a straight up character assassination by Elon Musk against the sitting President of the United States.
Is there any way, just to be devil's advocate and flip it, is there any way, guys, Brandon, I want to know honestly, that this could be a fake, coordinated fight? Like, remember, to distract everybody from something bigger that's happened. Remember with Trump, Tom, in 2017 with Jeff Sessions, where Sessions appeared to be disloyal, but he was actually helping with key investigations behind the scenes. Could this be something?
Vinny, I appreciate the question. I appreciate the question.
Because it looks.
If there's one tweet, okay, cool. They're going back and forth, and Elon is not stopping. One joke, ha ha ha. Two jokes, 10 jokes.
I'm just saying, could they
You're coming for his throat, bro.
Speaker Johnson sided with Musk.
Yeah, I would.
What do you mean, Speaker Johnson sided with Musk?
What are you talking about? Go to Musk's tweet. Go to Musk's handle. Just go to his handle.
I'm just saying.
And go all the way. Yeah, go all the way. Okay, go zoom in a little bit around and keep going slower. And keep going. You'll see 6 hours ago, he says, I agree with this guy. Keep going.
Speaker Johnson just passed the big, beautiful bill in the House.
I was going to say, that's
He
weird.
said he was calling Elon today, too, when he was walking.
Right there. Look at that. I super agree with this guy. Mike Johnson. At some point, Congress has to stop this endless cycle of out-of-control deficit spending.
Okay, got it.
What's he saying?
He's on Elon's side.
He's saying what he's saying.
That's pro-Elon.
And by the way, go up and see he retweets something from Trump from 2012.
That was, that was a little bit before.
And look at Elon.
Yeah, that was a little before
right,
this.
but go all the way up.
But he has to go and look for that tweet. He has to dig through Mike Johnson's 7 years of tweets to go back and find.
He found one of Trump.
Hold on. Read between the lines there.
Yeah, that's him calling out
He's basically saying you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, because
he's basically saying at some point you got to stop all this spending.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, but now.
Because he did that with Trump. Go up.
Okay.
Keep going up. Watch what he did with Trump. This is what you was doing. No, go a little bit higher. It's the screenshot.
Oh, right here.
It's an obvious lie. Yeah, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. That he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. What does he say? Such a lie. Trump fires back at Elon. The online battle begins.
This is the problem with democracy, by the way. This is why they say you don't want to see how the sausage is made. This is the good, the bad, the ugly of what we're living with. Now everything's out in the open. Every single person, every single adversary, every foe, every enemy is like, oh, I know how to get between these mother suckers. You don't think she's watching this? You don't think Putin's watching this? You don't think the terrorists are watching this? Yeah. You don't think the Ayatollahs are watching this and being like, just eating their popcorn like they're Jon Stewart in that meme over here and just watching this all go down and loving it.
But Elon's a big liar,
Such
too,
a bad look for America.
Elon's a big liar, too, though, because, I mean, think about the video game thing where he paid somebody to get the best score in the world in the video game, and for years he acted like he was a world-class player at that super advanced video game. Then he got caught, like he hadn't even played the game before. So, what does that tell you, that somebody's willing to put that much effort into crafting their image? Something that small and insignificant to be the best in the world at a video game. So, like, what else could he be lying about and, like, misportraying? If
PBD.
We'll do something like that.
Good point. PBD. I have one serious question for you.
Tell me.
For me, this is pretty ugly. I think it's about to get way uglier. How ugly can this get between these two guys?
seizing Tesla? Like the government seizing Tesla as a matter of national security if they start pulling things that are critical to the military?
Hey,
Brandon.
That's PBD, not you.
Brandon, let me unpack a little bit with you.
Guys, I asked PBD a question, and you guys started talking. Allow the guy with the name of the podcast to talk.
As of 9 hours ago, as of a day ago, the Republican Party was probably the strongest it's been in decades.
Yep.
24 hours ago. Seriously, if you think about it.
Yeah. We saw the stats with Harry.
Oh, you kidding me? That the video shows, middle America, they think about Republicans. This is the first time where the Democrats went from 23% in 1989 and NBC polled to today being even.
Yep.
While middle America sees both parties as being for middle America.
For the working class, right?
Dude, this is not good because this is got everything written on it for a civil war. And you know what's the one thing about both of them? They're both not gonna compromise. And so who is gonna be able to play the middle guy to come and do this? There is no candidate. There is no candidate. The only person that maybe stands a chance of being able to do this if Larry Ellison gets involved. Remember when Larry Ellison told Musk, don't fight with Apple? Yeah. That's not a fight you want to go. I don't know if you remember that. So Larry Ellison could be the only one that could be in his ear to listen to. I mean, Musk is unfollowing, allegedly,
Kirk.
All the people that are Trump's allies. What is he saying? I want to have nothing to do with your group. By the way, did you see what Charlie Kirk tweeted? Very respectful tweet Charlie put up.
What did
Charlie put up a very respectful tweet. Here's what Charlie Kirk's tweet is. We are so blessed to have Trump as president. That's 2 minutes ago. Keep going. We're just going to keep going a little bit lower. No, keep going a little bit lower. There will be some fighting attacks in days to come. I just want to say something on the outset. We should never forget how terrible the environment was online prior to October 2022. No matter what happens, I'm grateful that Elon Musk just bought X and liberated free speech in America. His contribution to America and to civilization from that alone is immense.
Very true.
He said that. Then he says what? So his first credit is to who? His first credit is to Elon. What's his last credit to? Trump. So, and that happened right after he unfollowed him. Okay, that happened right after he unfollowed him. I think, I remember when we were growing as a company so well, and there was this one guy that kept putting a freaking wrench in a momentum every damn time, and here's all it would do. We would be united like, go, and then boom, he said something, boom, now I only have this side. And then I would work hard, we got it run 9 more months, and then boom, these guys are, do you understand what I'm saying?
It's like a constant impediment.
Dude, it's like, so this is a momentum disruptor, and I feel, okay, so let's say the main reason for this is the big, beautiful bill. Let's say that's the reason. If the real reason is the big, beautiful bill, let's say that's the real motive for it. Dude, you have enough power to be able to not have Congress pass it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You guys can not be on the same page and, not have to say he was on the island and this, and that. That is a nuclear statement.
Yep.
That's not a statement of, hey, we can go to dinner and hang out. No, you can't. There's certain comments, let's just say you open up something to me about something that happened with your life we have a relationship together with.
Yeah.
I publicly tweet that.
Yeah.
I have permanently lost trust with you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a little bit.
Yeah.
It's permanent. So this relationship is gone. Okay? This relationship is totally gone. But for me, as weird as it sounds, Trump is being poised about it. Even his reaction is still poised.
Yeah.
He's not like bitter about it. He is, I don't know if people believe he wasn't like if something comes out and it shows that he is, something happened with Epstein, all that other stuff. It's going to be a Democratic, birthday. It's the greatest gift being handed over to them, right? But to me, all I'm thinking about is who are the people that have the ability to sit down with these guys and have them listen to them? That's all I'm interested in right now. Larry Ellison is one.
Thiel?
No way. I don't think it's Thiel. I think Ellison is one.
Were you talking just Musk or either one?
Either one. To sit down with both of them. Somebody that calls a meeting right away Ellison is one. Who else is it?
Look, there's not that
I
many.
really think it's only Ellison, because I think Ellison. I don't, Tom. Not Bezos, not Altman. Hell no. You got
Rogan.
Not Rogan. Nope. Rogan is going to probably do the podcast with Elon. They're probably texting right now. If it's not him, it's going to be Friedman. But that's a podcast is coming here soon. He's in Austin. He's probably going to go on Joe and talk to him and talk about some of this stuff. So that's going to be a massive podcast. But I'm talking about somebody that's going to no cameras needed and doesn't need credit. Ellison doesn't give a shit about credit. He's not trying to be a famous person. He's just he's living a different life. You need somebody that doesn't need any credit, doesn't want anything, that can sit down and have the conversation and be able to talk to Elon. Elon doesn't give me the vibes that he's going to listen to anybody. He doesn't give me the vibes that he's going to listen to anybody.
He doesn't seem like he wants to fix it either. Like, to say something like that would almost lead me to think that he doesn't expect him to be president for much longer, because what advantage does he have to say something like that, where he's going to have a bad relationship with the president now after having a good relationship?
What do you mean he doesn't expect him to be president much longer?
I'm saying to say something like that and to make the president hate you and make an enemy out of him, like what are you thinking strategically?
In one afternoon, in 7 tweets in one afternoon, and my question is, I want to know where the spark came from. Just what we were talking about with Zelensky, Pat. It's like, who gave you the green light? And now we're all suspecting that it was the deep forces, intelligence forces, convincing the respective governments of the UK and the US to say, okay, let Zelensky off the leash here. Let's let him do the drone thing. And so I want to know what triggered Elon, because I believe the 7,500 in there will bother him. But would it trigger him like this? I don't think so. Did you see what
Trump did? Rob, I sent you the link, the one right before the one I just sent you, where they're asking him if Trump was going to say something about him. And Donald Trump said, we're going to have a little discussion now, very, very private. He has no comments on Elon. He didn't want to say anything.
He was interviewed?
Well, Trump and them are sitting down right now in the White House for the state dining room. He's hosting a roundtable with Fraternal Order of Police. That one right there, Robbie. And I guess they're asking him, and he says nothing.
What is this?
Is this it?
Yep.
Is that Bondi?
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion now, very private. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And thank you very much, media. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, any response to Elon Musk?
Because normally he's yelling at them, right? He's talking crap right back. He's not saying nothing.
Good job.
He's completely quiet. And mind you, Pat, I sent him a clip. Do you guys remember 3 months ago?
Wait a minute. So how are you processing this?
No, I'm saying, like, right now.
Thank you, media. Why is he being cordial and friendly to media?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Normally he'd be like, "What the?" He'd go crazy.
What is this roundtable regarding?
This is right now. It's a state dining room for the police. Yeah.
So who's that? Is that
you know
Pam
what I'm saying,
Bondi?
Pat?
Who's
Normally,
that next to him?
Pam Bondi. Just probably the police.
Tom Homan. Who is that?
No. Vinny.
That's Pam Bondi
in the Oval Office or for in the briefing room. That's where they all get to stand there and ask questions. When you come here, this is a photo op. They don't do questions here.
But I'm saying, does Trump normally talk? Does Trump care?
I like to introduce this. We're going to do, and they take pictures so that they're covering the story. But in here, in this room, you'll see it over and over again. You go back and look at it. They don't yell in this room. It's like,
but they're asking. But would he answer questions?
I'd like to introduce it. I don't know.
If somebody asked a fake news question like, "Hey, we heard the bill is this" or something like that, Trump doesn't hold back. And he doesn't care what room he is in his house.
Look, if this was on the schedule today, I can tell you what Susie Wild did. Hey, we're going to come in here. You're going to have the photo op with the Fraternal Order of Police. I know it's been a very busy hour. Anybody that shouts a question out and interrupts, just hand me your credential on the way out.
I don't know.
Because Susie, that's her style.
Yeah.
Have you read about it? That's her style.
Yeah, no, I get
She's
it.
very level and say, you want to do that? She will keep law and order in here. And this is a photo op for the Fraternal Order for their meeting. This is not in the Oval Office where they all get to go ask their questions.
When did he make that tweet about you have 3.5 years, I have 40 years? When did he make that tweet?
I mean, didn't that
6
sound
hours
like
ago.
what Pelosi
5
said
years
about
ago.
W? Pelosi said the same thing about W.
I think that's a big. This is a very big component of what's happening. Because, you wrote a book, Your Next 5 Moves, being a long-term thinker, being a strategist. I don't think that this isn't weighing on both of their minds. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I actually had a very ugly conversation with a business associate of mine yesterday. This guy's 80 years old. I've done business with his son, who's 50. This guy's 80. And make a long story short, this guy looked me in the face, gave me his word, like it's Jerry Maguire, like I'll give him my word as strong as oak, and then just turned around and completely screwed me. Screwed me. I'm talking a lot of money. And he called me and he's like, yeah, I know, man. I know you're probably not happy with me right now. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, you're an 80-year-old man. And this is how you're operating. And I don't even know how to process this. And all I could think of is, you're going to be gone soon, buddy. And I'm going to be talking about you for the next 50 years. And people are going to know anytime your name comes up, oh, that's that guy? You know who you always talk about, Pat? The guy from AIG, Bob Ben Moshe.
Yeah.
He's been gone how long now? 10 years?
10 years.
Anytime you bring his name up, let his legacy continue to be what it is. You say the kindest thing about this guy.
Yeah.
The kindest things. He saved AIG, no?
Yep.
Long before he's gone, people are still talking about him. And I said to the guy on the call yesterday, I said, you screwed me, buddy. All right, so I lost 50 grand. I'll live. But let me tell you something, buddy. You know who Jack Bogle is? He goes, who's that?
Vanguard.
I go. I'm shocked. You're a financial guy. How do you not know who this guy is? He's Vanguard, billionaire. I go, do you know what he said before he died? Do you know his one thing that he wished for? He goes, what's that, tough guy? That's what he's saying to me, an 80-year-old guy. I go, that he dies with his reputation intact. And I go, soon you're not going to be here anymore, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for 50 years. And anytime your name comes up, I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to be pretty. And he goes, that's it. I'm done with you. Click. And I go, okay, fine. What's my point? I think that they're both looking at each other. Trump's concerned about legacy. He's concerned about the short term. But Elon Musk is looking at this and be like, you might get the best of me now, Trump. But for 40 years, this is how I'll be thinking.
This also, I mean, remember, I'm just saying what ifs because obviously we're speculating. But maybe this feud could be to hijack the media's attention. Everybody's focused on the drama. Elon talks about the Epstein client list and Trump's on it. What if this is a door to open that Kash Patel now has to drop? Maybe this is a ploy that now he's like, okay, now you have to put it out. Put out the list and let everybody see it so that everybody that he was talking about, from what was the billionaire's name? Rob, do you remember? Reid Hoffman and all these people and Bill Clinton that were all allegedly on it. Maybe this is a way to go, oh, we're fighting and oh, he's on the list. Drop the list. Kash Patel, I'm the president. Now you could show it. What if that's it? What if that's the main one is for him to do that and now we get to see it? Because again, I don't believe that Donald Trump hanging out with kids.
I just got a text from somebody that is in direct communication with the president.
Okay.
Right now, the advice from everybody has been to not say anything. Just get off Twitter, get off social, get off any of that stuff. Don't say anything. Just let us kind of sit back and see what we need to be doing. The only thing I'm interested in situations like this, when something goes from 0 to 10, the first list I make, you know what's the first list I make? Who does that person listen to? Who do they trust? So who does Elon Musk trust the most? Can you pull up who does Elon Musk
David Sachs
trust the most?
If you had to guess one right now, like in this world,
I think Sachs
who does he trust the most?
Sachs is up there.
Linda Yaccarino.
Ellison is there.
Linda Yaccarino.
Yeah,
who's
they got a little bit of a fight, but
Jared Birchall, who is he's been his wealth manager. Never heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Davis, a longtime associate, joined X in 2003. Later led the Boring Company. Antonio Gracias.
That's a big one.
Alex Spiro, okay, stud of a guy. Gwynne Shotwell, president and CEO of SpaceX. Katie Miller, but I'm talking David
His
Sachs,
brother.
Kimball Musk.
His brother.
No, his brother can't get to him because if you read the book, I don't know. I'm not friends with these guys. It's not like I broke bread with these guys, and I'm speaking. I don't want to speak out of what do you call it? Out of school, like I'm not. I've met Elon one time, and we've never exchanged text, communication, nothing. I don't have a relationship, so I'm speaking purely out of if something happens at that level. If there's a falling out with your son or your kid, first thing I'm calling is who does he trust that can. Tom, can you stop playing video games? Like
I'm not. I was looking at from Roger Stone, and there was something like below it that was autoplaying.
So Tom's like, you know that.
Pat,
You know the
sorry,
guy
man. I'm
Brandon
sorry.
was talking about that he hired to get him to be ranked number 1 in the video game?
Yeah.
It's really Tom. That's officially been released. Everybody knows Tom's a great gamer.
Tom, stay with us.
But to me, that's what I'm interested
I got to
in.
get to level 3.
Who does he trust? And that call needs to be made. And Trump can't call that guy. Somebody in the middle that has EQ to say, hey, this is the opening question if I call Ellison. You know what my first call is? Larry, what do you think about what's going on? Open-ended. Because Larry may say, I agree with Elon. Okay. Do you think this is good for America? No, I don't. Have you spoken to him? No, couldn't get a hold of him. Can you please try? So I think you need to find a way to get this thing to be settled.
Yeah.
This is not good. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
That's how it's got to happen. Someone's got to call him. This is not good for America, man. This is terrible for America because Elon can still get what he wants with J.D. Vance being the president by still not doing this.
Yep.
Because he officially put a wedge in there that, you know what he officially did? He officially decreased the chance of J.D. Vance winning.
Bingo.
He officially decreased the chance of J.D. Vance winning because J.D. Vance officially became the number 1 target from Trump.
Yeah.
Remember that one time when they asked him, they said, J.D. Vance being a president, what did Trump say? I don't know about that. No, not him. No, we'll see what's going to happen. And then about 6 weeks ago, he said Rubio or Vance.
Yep.
Remember? He gave Rubio and Vance credit about 6 weeks ago.
By the way, thank you for bringing that up. Can I make one point about that? The forget J.D. Vance's name until 2028. In my opinion, Trump is not going anywhere. Trump is Teflon done. I can't believe I'm so a proponent of Trump at this point. It's crazy where I'm at right now. Like I'm like disgusted at how Elon Musk is acting. But forget about JD Vance. But I also say this: you're not going to hear any more conversations about Trump's 3rd term anytime soon. At this point, let's let him finish his 2nd term. Yeah. Let's make America great right now.
Yeah.
Let's figure out this tariff situation. Let's figure out the border situation. Let's figure out this big, beautiful bill. You're not going to hear Steve Bannon guarantee 3rd term. What do you guarantee, Steve Bannon? Steve Bannon has no position to say shit at this point.
Steve Bannon is saying that Trump should pull all of his Starlink, all of his SpaceX and all that stuff because he's threatening stuff. But here's the thing. Listen, I'm just being genuine and real. I'm happy and grateful that Elon Musk help get our guy across the finish line, okay? The guy has been fighting since 2016, Russia collusion, all the impeachment, shot in the head, almost another attempt. Elon Musk and everything got him in. But I'm sorry, when it comes to this, push comes to shove, to hell with this dude. It's Donald Trump. It's the president of the United States. You're not going to be out there bashing him and trying to threaten him and all that shit because it's our country that matters, okay? Elon's Elon first. Donald Trump is America first, and he's been America first forever, since the beginning. Go roll the tapes from the 80s and 90s when he was on all these shows, okay? It's about our country. And mind you, these cats he's beefing with Donald Trump. We have Russia, which I believe by Sunday is going to attack, and he already said it. He's going to be attacking very, very soon. We got Israel and Gaza and all the shit that's happening in the world. China and these Chinese students bringing in bio and agriculture freaking weapons to try to attack. Yeah. There's too much shit going on. This is the number 1 thing that's going to be going on for the next freaking week. We got time for this shit.
Yeah. Can I ask a question quick? So what part of this could you think could be mental health related? Because if anybody who's read his book knows, like, he has these phases that Musk goes through where he like just descends into these like depression manic holes where he starts fights with people and kind of goes crazy, almost like in a seemingly bipolar way, and then combine that with people saying he allegedly is on different kinds of medication. I don't know. Do you think any part of this could be mental health related combined with not getting exactly what he wants?
I mean, if Brendan, from somebody that's drank and partied and stuff, that whatever he was on in the freaking Oval Office, Tom, when he was doing that, by the way, that whatever, his son or whatever, he looked off. And remember, we said, Adam, I felt like the guy's in there. You're basically getting fired, and they're giving you a key. He looked like, remember in Men in Black, that alien that was in that guy?
Oh, your face is falling off your face.
What's his name, Edgar?
Your skin is falling off your face,
Your
Edgar.
skin's falling off. That's what. Yeah. Look. Yeah, Rob, can you play this? Yeah. Look at what. Look at his.
Brandon, you're asking a very poignant,
like he's
very important question.
Looks like he's morphing.
Because, in my opinion, and this is from firsthand advice, but someone that knows Elon very well, the drugs have taken their toll.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know how much drugs he's doing. Yes, he's a billionaire. Yes, he's done amazing things.
Whatever.
Yes, he's helped us.
Drugs.
But look, again, I was joking before, but if you got all these baby mamas, you're doing all these drugs, you're talking about going to Mars, we'd ask, what the hell's wrong with this person? he's an exception to the rule. I get it. But drugs don't discriminate, dude. You do this much drugs, you're going to have some major issues in your body going on.
Here's when Trump said that he showed him the bill he knew. False. This bill was never shown to me once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it. You either believe him or you don't believe him. A lot of people agree with him, and a lot of people don't agree with him. A lot, today when I talked to Charlie, one of the things was, look, if you're saying we're about saving money and we keep doing something like this and not showing that we want the government to get smaller, we got to kind of stay there. But to me, if there is one thing that is very black and white for me, Trump is America first.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Trump is America first. And his motive, the guy's not a perfect guy. No one's expecting him to be a perfect guy. I told Charlie today, I said, look, there's two things that's such a problem. Like, one time, one of my couples in a company, husband and wife, I introduced them to each other. And they eventually got married. They have a beautiful family, beautiful, beautiful family. But I remember one time she came up to me and she said, you know what? I'm going to compete against him. I said, what do you mean? I'm going to compete against him because I think I can do a better job of prospecting and da-da-da-da-da. I said, you're going to compete against who? Against him.
Her husband?
Yeah. I said, you think that's a good idea? Yeah, because I think I can. I said, no. I said, let me put it to you this way. You guys go like that, divorce is around the corner. Mm-hmm. In every marriage, there has to be a king and an alpha.
Yep.
He's the alpha, not you. If you're going to go like this, you're going to lose it. This is not going to work out. What do you want to do? You know what happened to her? Within 6 months, she flipped. You know what happened to their business? Blew up. They do 40, 50 million a year right now.
Good for them. Okay? Good.
So credit to both of them. But I knew he's an alpha. What, you think you're going to do that? He's not going to be okay with that. He's not. So where am I going with this? There's a old quote. I can't figure out who it's from. A friend of mine, Jeff, gave it to me like 17 years ago. I'm sure I'm going to find it here soon. He says, civilizations and empires fall when people care who gets the credit. Okay? So think in this case, Elon's like, without me, you would never be president. Imagine how many other people are saying that in his ear. Mm-hmm. Girls, other billionaires, other influencers that they were at PayPal Mafia and all these guys. He's got friends with a lot of people. World leaders, prime minister. Think about who Elon's talking to. Who's texting him? Who's talking? Everybody. And their mothers, right? Space, everybody. So imagine no, dude, everybody knows, man, behind closed doors. Without you, Trump would have never been president.
You should have been the president. Yeah, if
you would all this stuff, you would have never done this with the bill. You would have done this with the doors. You would have done this. Okay. So, the way he looks at him like this on this. But look at Trump. Trump is sitting there, 79 years old, 78 years old. He's about to be 79 in a few days.
Yeah.
He's sitting there saying, I almost freaking died. And I busted my ass at 78 years old, brought all of you guys together. We were about to lose this shit to Kamala.
Jeez.
And to freaking Biden, one of the two. Woke would have continued, ESG would have continued, all the shit would have continued. This is what you guys are doing to me? Seriously? A grandfather of this many grandkids and a family and all this other. You want to do this to me? Really? I think this is probably the first time in his career where he's sitting there, but when he's by himself, when I saw that video, the look, when he's sitting there by himself saying, what the fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing? Is this how it's supposed to be? I don't know who he talks with. It's God or his father and his mom and whoever it is. And Dad, am I supposed to go through? Is this what's, I don't know who it is. But he has to go reflect when he goes to the bathroom by himself or he's in an office by himself. But the reality of it is, when you look at the greatest comeback ever made in any sport, and politics is a contact sport, different kind of contact. This guy made the greatest comeback in the history of mankind, and he becomes president and almost dies multiple times. And he's still up there and brings all of these guys in together for America, not because he needs to be a president. He's always going to die being a president, billionaire, women, shows, all that. He didn't need this to be able to do it. One of the two have to realize one is the alpha. And Elon didn't want to cave to Trump being the alpha amongst alphas. But the reality is he had to accept it from day one. If you're doing this, you have to understand that Trump is the alpha, not you, in this setting. And it's unfortunate because this happens on sports teams, this happens in families, this happens in countries, this happens in a lot of different places. It doesn't mean the alpha is not going to stumble and make mistakes. It doesn't mean that the bill is a good bill. It could mean you're right, that the bill sucks. But it means he's the alpha. You have to save the respect of the alpha. You have to save that image of the alpha. Privately, you say, this fucking sucks. You don't do it this way. You don't do it this way because there's a lot of people that are innocent family people that are right now. Like, you just don't do it this way. This is not a good move. This is not a good move. And you know, what happened the last 4 years? If you put the most important people the last 4 years, number one is Trump. Number two is Elon. What he did with X. He's right there.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not the guy. You're not the guy. And that is the challenge here. And unfortunately, this is where we are today, folks. Anyways, wanted to do an emergency podcast with you guys. For those of you guys that joined us, awesome. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, support us. Press the subscribe button. I don't think I've asked that for that in a while. And I saw a bunch of you guys ordered a bunch of allegedly, I think, stuff that we have here as well. I know we have limited supply because we barely do it. But if you guys haven't gotten any of the allegedly gear and shirt, I'm sure if you sport that the next couple weeks, people are going to get a kick out of this. That's funny. And it's a word probably everybody should be using without jumping in conclusion. Do you know Elon with Trump, Epstein? Allegedly. Do you know Elon? Allegedly. Anyways, God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm supposed I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got betdavid? Valuetainment, giving values contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to haters. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Okay, Rob, what episode are we on today? I think, okay, there it is. I said 451. Lots to cover, guys. There's a lot of things that even happened overnight that we got to get into, but there was a fiery interview with Trump at the National Association of Black Journalists. And there were a lot of moments where it was funny, where all of a sudden Trump says, I didn't know Kamala was black. I thought she was Indian. And the media's taken that clip. They've been looking forward to that clip, and they've been running with it. We'll cover that. Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh killed in Tehran as Iran vows revenge against Israel. And that's definitely not looking good there. Travis and Jason Kelsey asking for $100 million for their new Heights podcast. We'll talk about that. 86% of renters say they cannot afford to buy a home, with majority saying they will never afford one. California, this one's funny as hell, guys. California, ran by this guy named Gavin Newsom, very good-looking guy. California City rolls out all-electric police fleet, first in the U.S. Guess what the electric cars are? Tom, can you tell us what the all-electric police fleet is in California?
They're made by Gavin Newsom's arch enemy, Elon Musk.
All he had to say was Tesla. That's all he had to say. It was Tesla. But Tom's trying to, he's going to be in a movie.
I put a little art into it.
I like that. I like the fact that he did that. Okay, fire somebody. Senator Hawley got into a shouting match with Secret Service acting director over assassination attempt. You'll see that. Have babies for Russia. Putin presses women to embrace patriotism over feminism. You guys are going to love that story. Acting service director hurt by counter sniper, email ripping leadership after Trump shooting. We'll cover that. Secret Service sniper warns of another assassination attempt could be imminent as agencies' failures are exposed. Kamala Harris's popularity reaches record high. Starbucks misses revenue estimates as same-store sales decline for the second quarter. People are not drinking coffee. I was thinking about getting back to drinking coffee. It's been 20 years.
Or they have no money.
Yeah. Costa Miami office space hits record high. 22 people injured, 22 cops injured in a clash with protesters near site of UK stabbing attack that killed 3 girls at Taylor Swift's themed dance. That's a New York Post story. White dudes for Harris. Zoom call raises $4 million for Kamala's campaign. We're going to find out if some of you guys were on that. Harris makes play for white men. Michael Moore goes full Kamala. The country is female. White men will be shown the door. Then there's another one coming up. Kamala Harris's woke juvenile justice law sets to free pedophile killer. San Francisco mayor looks to tackle city drug crisis by paying residents to stay sober. What a phenomenal idea there.
Oh, boy.
Listen, we'll pay you if you don't drink any alcohol.
Promise? You got to promise.
Yeah, and then overnight, you had Evan, is it Gershkovich that we're talking about? That story that's coming up, which is pretty wild. Trump made some claims on what he was going to do. It looks like Russia's coming in, and some of the stuff is happening earlier. 9/11 guys that were involved in the 9/11. You should see what happened with those guys not getting the death penalty. And then we got a couple other stories. I got one story that came overnight that I really liked that I want to hit up. I thought it was fantastic by Jamie Dimon talking about the fact that leaders must travel. Jamie Dimon says business travel is essential for leaders who don't want to fail. I'll send that to you, Rob. And then I got this story that came up that possibly one of the boxers that beat up a girl, that this Italian girl just raised her hand in the Olympics. They're claiming the opponent failed a gender test in 2023. I don't even know what that is. Is it like cough? Like there's no, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what is this? Like this is not supposed to be here.
That's none of your business.
Right. If you're going to, I mean, I don't know. We'll find out there. But gang, before we get into it, 2 nights ago, I did a webinar, the AI Revolution webinar. Biggest private webinar we've ever done. It was insane. People from all over the world were tuning in, and we gave everybody the white paper. And we announced the different speakers that'll be at the Vault Conference. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which you already know. Nick Saban, greatest college football coach of all time. If you say no, it's because you probably don't like the guy, but the guy's won, I think, 7 national championships. This will be one of the first business conferences he's doing since he retired. Max Tegmark, who wrote a book called Life 3.0. One of the, some claim it's the best book of all time on AI. Even Elon Musk is a big fan of his. And then Will Guidara, who founded the #1 restaurant in the world. Vault Conference. We have CEO tickets sold out, founder tickets sold out, executive tickets sold out. Platinum's about to sell out. Only generals are going to be left. And then the Menect. Those of you guys that are competing for Menect, I cannot wait for you to come to the Menect dinner, the Menect lounge. There's going to be a room where you'll be networking with other people, CEOs. Here's what the categories look like right now with lightweight. Bryce Mitchell's at the top, then Caleb, then Jose competing. Rob, can you just go to the site so we can see some of the other names? Just go to Menect and then go to the leaders board, and we can show that. Zoom in a little bit if you could. So the way it works, the scoring system, per Menect you finish, go to the top, Rob, a little bit. Not that high. Go a little lower, Rob. Go a little low right in the middle right there. For each completed Menect is 1 point. Each review is 2 points. Each unique review is 3 points that you get. So based on that scoring system, you can go a little lower. Here's what you'll notice. Bryce Mitchell at the top, then Caleb, Jose. These are people that have never been an expert on Menect, that never had done a Menect, that just started. Adam Hudson, Brianne Dressen, Stephen Hamal, all these guys. You're in the top 10. Go to the next one, middleweight. These are people that had done Menect before. Matten's first place right now. Big Lee, 211. Then it's Samuel Riley, Drew Miller, Cecilia Vargas is on there. And CEO Rollo Tomasi. Okay, he's at 6th place.
Rollo.
Now go to the next one.
Welcome
Heavyweight.
back,
We got Dennis Panev, first place. Then it's Candace. Then it's Calvin Inc. Dustin's right behind Calvin. Rob Gargullo. Oh, Rob G. Buddy boy. Wayne Wyant, Michael Mara, Sapala, Kelly Davis. Super heavyweight. Vinny dominating everybody. And then let's go to the next one. Go to the next one. These are users asking questions. Matt's at the top, but only a 10-point lead. And I think he's coming from Australia to the vault. Russell Morgan. Mark. And then Russell Morgan, Rachel, Ronald. You know who you are. And then go to the next one. These are people that have never used Menect. Now they're asking questions. Shaw, Rachel Cox, Matthew, user 0, Chris. So these are folks that are using Menect. Gang, in a political climate like this, you guys are asking a lot of questions about politics. Download the app. Ask Candace. She responds like this. Ask Tulsi. They're actually responding. Ask Cuomo. They're actually responding. What do you think about XYZ? Some of the biggest communications right now are being done on Menect. Go back to that profile you had, Rob, of all those guys. Questions for me, for Tom, for Vinny, for Adam. Use our QR code. Ask us whatever questions you got today. All right, let's get right into it. Let's see what's the first story for us to get into. I'd like to get into the first story 86% of renters say they cannot afford to buy a home, with majority saying they will never afford one. And this is a story from, who is this from? Fox Business. Let's go through this here. 86% of U.S. renters said they can't afford to buy a home. 50% doubt they will ever own a home. Brent Bjornson, a 39-year-old father, explains home ownership seems impossible, and that hurts for 2 kids of baby boomers. Matt Agin, a CNN reporter, notes this is just widening the gap between the haves and have-nots, emphasizing that 83% of Americans consider home ownership as essential milestone, yet many can't achieve it due to escalating cost. Jeremy Anderson, a 40-year-old father of twins representing a growing sentiment, says, we have given up on home ownership. I'm not going to pay $350,000. Shit, $350,000. You wish that was the case in South Florida. For a rundown house, the rising prices of starter homes, now at least $1 million in 237 cities, exasperate this frustration. Tom, thoughts on the story?
Well, this is the affordability crisis, another story in living color about it. And what people are talking about is, hey, inflation is making it so expensive to live. How am I supposed to save a down payment? Now, veterans don't need a down payment, but the rest of us do, at least 10%. So inflation in PBD is making it hard for people just to save for that down payment. And then, okay, now you've got a down payment, but how big is that monthly payment going to be based on the price of the house? And we had yesterday the news, the day before yesterday, in previous podcast, the news that people were getting into contracts, like an offer is a contract. Well, but now can you get it done? And banks were causing those contracts to be canceled because they can't approve them for the loan with everything there. So this is basically underlining the affordability crisis, but also it underlines you can't wait on the economy. It may suck, but you got to drive with side hustles and do a lot of things to get yourself up. You can't just wait for it to come back to you. You got to be inspired and you got to drive against it. But this is what the average person is facing. This is the affordability crisis in living color.
Adam. Yeah, this is the conversation of our time. It's, we had a conversation a few days ago about, has the American dream changed? And I said, or is the American dream dead? And I said, no, the American dream is not dead. It's just completely changed. The American dream, formerly known as buying a house, having 2.2 kids, having the picket fence, having the 2-car garage. Well, that's great for your parents, for your grandparents. But if you're trying to do that now, there's something that is working against you, and it's a 4-letter word, and it's called math. So if you want to get the 2 cars, if you want to get the picket fence, if you want to get the house, you want to do that, and you want, how much does it cost to raise a kid? $250,000 from 0 to 18. The average price of a house is now record high. What's the average price of a house? About $450,000. That's average. Good luck if you're in LA. Good luck if you're in San Francisco. Good luck if you're in New York. Good luck if you're in Miami, any of these major cities. So the math doesn't add up. So my question to you guys is, how much money do you want to put towards your house? So you could buy a house, go for it, but you might end up being broke because of it. I say the number one thing that's going to cause you to drive to the poorhouse is your car. But what will keep you in the poorhouse is buying a little too much house than you can afford. Now, the last thing I'll say is it all depends on who you are. So here's my recommendation, take it, leave it, what have you. If you're single and you don't have kids, and this is not something you're doing the next 2-3 years, what have you, there's zero reason to buy a house unless you're some expert realtor, professional real estate guy. If you have a family and you have kids, this is a difficult situation because you're probably going to need 3 bedrooms at least. You're going to need space for the kids, for the family, if your in-laws come in, what have you. So I totally understand that component. And the last thing I'll say about real estate, Rob, I think I sent you something. Pat brought this up the other day about, the investment of it. The stock market doubles what you'll receive in terms of.
Is that what you said?
Yes, exactly.
That's so funny. I'm looking at the same thing.
Okay, perfect. Because we talked about this.
Yeah.
So, people don't. The beauty of real estate is you can touch it, you can hold it, you can feel it. A lot of people don't understand the stock market.
Yeah.
There's people listening out there. They're like, dude, I don't know, bulls, bears, red, green, up, down. I have no clue. But I understand what a house is, and I understand what touching it and feeling it a property is. So if you look at this report, Rob, so 9.8% is the historical return, so basically 10%. Where's real estate? 4.2%. So it's literally a double bet more than double to put yourself in the stock market. Now, again, it's lifestyle, it's emotional. I get it.
Let me show this.
Yes,
Rob, on this same, that's the one you want to go to.
Yep.
That's the one you want to go to. So check this out. So if you go to 30s, go to real estate. 30s, the entire decade, you would have made minus 1.2% in real estate. Of course, we know why.
The big crash.
40s, you would have made 8.1% annual rate of return. 50s, 3. 60s, 2. 70s, 8.7. 80s, 5.9. 90s, 2.7. 2000s, 4. 2010, 3.8. Look at that for 3 decades. It was 4% or less. 2020, it's what? 10.2. What happened to the next decade after we had an 8+? Go to the 8+ decade, what do you see? 3, 2. Go to the other 8+ decade, what do you see? 5.9, 2.7, 4.38. So we may have just had the greatest decade ever in real estate. It's not going to follow up by another 10.2, folks. If that's what people are looking for, that's not what the follow-up's going to be. There's going to be a bit of a fall. And if you can look at all the other stuff, by the way, you can look at cash, you can look at stocks. On the stock side, you'll see minus 0.9, 8.5, 19.5, 7.7, 5.9, 17.3, 18, minus 1, 13.4, 11.9. 4 out of the last 5 decades have been in double digits. By the way, last night a guy sends me a Connect, and he's asking me about financial advice. I said, first of all, let me start off by saying, even though I was a financial advisor for 20 years, I'm no longer a financial advisor. He says, you talked about, stock market, all this stuff. You talked about crypto, Bitcoin, gold. Where should I put my money if the cash is going to take a massive hit? I said, here's what I would suggest to you. How do you feel about AI? How revolutionary do you think AI is going to be in business? And who do you think AI will impact the most? If you actually think about it, who's AI going to impact the most?
Positive or negative?
Positively. Who's it going to impact the most? Think
Business
about
owners and...
Okay, so specifically who, though? Fortune 500 companies?
Big time.
Right.
Business owners?
Yeah.
Because they have the ability, those who adjust and put money into AI, they're going to blow up. How much are they going to blow up? What's happening to NVIDIA? What's happening to these? NVIDIA was a $10 billion company just a decade ago, 14 years ago. It's a $3.3 trillion company right now. Crazy. What does that look like? But this is the part. If somebody's watching right now and they believe AI is going to revolutionize the way we do business, you have one of 3 options. Either 1, apply it in your day-to-day life. Either 2, work for a company that is leveraging AI and participate in the upside. Or 3, go out there and start a business that's AI. But for some of you guys that are watching and saying, what if I'm none of that stuff? Guess what? Invest in equities. I'm not giving you advice as a financial advisor. This varies to everybody else. Equities is going to go for the next 10, 20 years if you believe in AI. Simply if you believe AI is going to revolutionize the game in a major way. A part of the PowerPoint that we were talking about on the AI webinar with the white paper we gave everybody that was on, we put 300 hours of research into it. It talks about every single time manufacturing came out, who took a hit. It shows how many cars they were able to produce with the technology advancement. But AI is going to take this thing to levels we've never seen before. And what will AI affect? Basic question. Will AI affect gold? No. Will AI affect real estate? No. Will AI affect cash? No. Will AI affect Bitcoin? Crypto?
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, maybe. Will AI affect equities?
All day long.
Of course. Of course. So I think I'm very bullish on what AI is going to do to the market. So for some that are saying real estate, again, 5-10 years, family, kids, that's going to happen. Do your thing. But if not, don't count out equities, because there's a lot of guys making money right now in equities.
So because you were talking about, Adam, somebody like, put yourself in my shoes. Veteran, so I got no down payment. That's what Tom was talking about. I'm planning on, kids, marriage, all that stuff within these 3 years. We saw that the prices are starting to drop in Florida, Tom. Like I thought maybe now would be the time to start looking, Tom, and get that, especially if that's where I'm looking to be. Why not pull the trigger a little bit earlier if that's already
it may be. And what we're going to do is we'll get together and we'll get smart. We'll get smart about the neighborhood, smart about the candidate properties, smart about the HOA. You can be smart. You can have you could have 2 townhouses on the same street. One is an 800 HOA, one is a 400 HOA. Those kind of costs will chase you around. So get smart about it, and you can find optimized opportunities.
Let's go to the next one. Have babies for Russia. Putin presses women to embrace patriotism over feminism. Russia's Vladimir Putin has urged women to prioritize childbirth over careers to grow Russia's population, stating many of our grandmothers and great-grandmothers had 7 or 8 children, and maybe even more. We should preserve and revive these wonderful traditions. Putin has linked this push to national security, especially in the context of the war in Ukraine, as he seeks to forge a militarized nationalist society rooted in Orthodox Christianity. By the way, this is a shot. This is not a positive article about him. WAPO's trying to go after him, right? Putin's policies are seen as rolling back women's rights, with Russians, feminists, and human rights advocates criticizing the emphasis on traditional family values. Let me just read that. WAPO, you wrote this. Let me read this sentence to you one more time, folks. Please, I just want you to hear how these guys spin this idea here. Listen. Putin's policies are seen as rolling back women's rights, with Russian feminists and human rights advocates criticizing the emphasis on traditional values. What? Emphasis on traditional family values? Health Minister Mikhail Murashko and Deputy Prime Minister Tatiana have promoted early childbirth, with Golivka asserting the earlier of the first child is born, the earlier the second and third will be. Despite efforts to promote large families, Russia's birth rate continues to decline, with 1.26 million children born in 2023, lowest since 1999. Tom, I got a lot of thoughts on this, but I want to go to you first. What's on your mind?
A cynical person could say, oh, well, he sent all these young men to die in the war and it's been terrible. And then, depending on, who you believe of how many hundreds of thousands of soldiers are permanently crippled or been killed, he's just trying to replace his soldier network. I don't think so. I think Putin is ahead of the rest of the West on pointing out, if I don't get the right people having babies in my country, said Putin, then I'm going to lose my country, and I don't want to lose my country. So say what you will about Putin, say what you will about things. He certainly has things to be, picked on, and things that are a little bit crazy. But you know what? He is saying the same thing that we were saying. Any given country, if the leader is calling out the right people to have babies, what he's trying to do is sustain his country. He's not trying to roll women's back. He's trying to get people to have families. And he's quoting facts. Our grandmothers and great-grandmothers had 7 or 8 children. That's truth. That's what it was. And that's what built up Russia. I look at this. That's what I think.
Adam.
So the question is, why do people on the right in America admire Vladimir Putin? Think about that for a second, because we're in a proxy war with Putin in Ukraine, and there's a whole conversation to be had about how people feel about Ukraine. But why do people on the right, especially in the MAGA camp, actually align with Putin? Because he actually still stands for traditional family values. And there's an argument to be had why this brutal dictator, KGB man who we should not be admiring in the West, who would love to see the decline of America, why there is such admiration for a guy like this is because he's standing for the things that people of tradition believe, people of the Judeo-Christian faith, especially Christian faith, people with family values actually stand for. And we're seeing this declination of traditional family values, which we've talked about so many times here: lack of community, lack of religion, lack of family, lack of kids, and this selfish search for money. But he actually sang with a lot of people's minds. Forget about the fact that if you dissent with him, he'll just kill you, end up with a little, out the window somehow, or a little, poison or all that. But he does stand for what a lot of people actually want in their life. And the difference between what happens in America versus Russia is there's no identity politics there, from what I understand. They're not playing the gender ideology game. You're not going to get canceled for saying this. He's come out pretty hardcore on the LGBTQ agenda. So the progressive feminist that's sort of taking over the West, America, Scandinavian countries, Canada, what have you, he's like, yeah, we're not playing this game. So I do understand why there's a lot of alignment with Putin, although he is a bad dude.
I mean, everybody. How many leaders are? Every leader has to make bad decisions and do bad things and bomb people, just like our leaders have done in the past. But the message of guys, let's the numbers. Adam, we were always talking about the numbers screaming. The numbers are screaming. Just in general, we need to start having more children, bro. Put them. All that negative stuff, bro. The people of Russia love this guy, and it's because of that type of attitude, and he should be pushing back.
Rob, what is that? Can you zoom into that real quick? So ideal number of children for Russia. This is ideal, or this is current situation?
This was in the WAPO article, so I'm not.
Can't hear you, Rob.
I don't know if your mic's working, buddy.
So who said ideal? Ideal number of children according to who?
I believe WAPO. This is the chart that was in the WAPO article.
But what does that mean, though? Ideal, like ideal, making sure. So Putin has restored 1970. Having 10 children or more, et cetera, et cetera. Ideal number of children for Russia. Okay. So right now, their birth rate, if you type in Russia's current birth rate, is 1.49, give or take. That's 2-3 years ago, but that's what I see, 1.49. Can you type in, oh, fantastic. Go to that. Look at that chart. That's exactly the chart I wanted to go all the way back. Okay, no, stay where you're at. U.S. right now is what? 1.66. Russia is 1.49. Ukraine is 1.16, right? So meaning Russia and Ukraine in the last 60 years, go back 60 years, they were at 2.45, 2.52, Ukraine 2.2. But look at U.S. Look at the 60s. We went from 3.65 in the 60s to go mid-70s, where we fell behind them. Where were we at? 1.74. Then we went up to 2, and then now we're at the lowest we've ever been in the history of America, okay? Ever been. Last night, I'm at the house, did a podcast with Russell Peters, and he comes and we have a cigar, and then ends up being 2. And then we're thinking we're going to finish up by 10 o'clock, after having dinner at Casa D'Angelo. We said, let's go to 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Ends at 1:15 is when we wrap up. And then he heads out to Tampa because he's performing, I think, this weekend or something like that in Tampa. You know what the entire conversation was about? Having kids, having families, how much work it is to have kids. Do you want to have kids? Is it good? Is it bad? We talked about LGBTQ. We talked about who's a positive to society. Until a society doesn't change who they turn into heroes, people are not going to have kids. If you reckon whatever a country recognizes, that's what kids are going to do. In the podcast, Russell Peters, that's going to come out. Here's what he says to me. He says, you're going to see this. He says, my 11-year-old daughter, he lives in LA. My 11-year-old daughter came up to me and she said, hey, Daddy. I said, what? He says, I think I'm a boy. He says, what do you mean? He says, I think I'm a boy. I'm going to transition into a boy. You're not a boy. Trust me, you're not a boy. No, I'm a boy. And then he's like, oh, here we go. So then next year, 12-year-old, she comes to him and she says, I don't want to be a boy. I'm a lesbian at 12 years old. And then 13 years old, which is the current now, he talks about this openly. She says, you know what? I'm actually bi. Okay? He says the good news is at this point she's on track to being straight by the time she's 18, right? So obviously it's a good bit.
It's funny, yeah.
But at the same time, he's telling the story. And I said, are you bullshitting or are you being serious? He said, no, I'm being dead serious. I said, when you and I were 12, 13 years old, did we know what it was to be bi or what it was when we went to school? He says, I don't know any of this kind of stuff. I said, yeah, me neither. He went to school in Toronto. It's not like we went to school in the same place. At 11, 12 years old, I went to school in Germany and Glendale, California. We knew nothing about this kind of stuff, right? Now, the recognition is of what it is to be part of the LGBTQ community, all this other stuff, right? And again, we've talked, I'm gonna beat this like a frickin', I'm gonna talk about so many times until everyone starts asking this question. Father's Day one day, Mother's Day one day, LGBTQ nearly 150 days per year dedicated. Does that make any sense to you? That's how America goes from how many kids? Can you go back to it again? From 3.65 to now being at 1.66. So the fact that Russia is getting up there and talking about this and they're at 1.49, bringing back family values. And I'm asking last night the question, I'm like, wait a minute. How much more important are you to society than LGBTQ? You can't say that. No, I can't say that. You have a harder job to be a father. It's a harder job to be a mother. This is not about the recognition. So the less a country promotes that, and they don't turn fathers and mothers into heroes, people are not going to want to have kids. Here's a question for you. Governors, I used to talk about, when's the last time you saw a governor recommend books for people to read? When's the last time you saw a president? When's the last time a president I'm actually asking a real question. I've asked this many times. Tell me when's the last time a president got up and says, I believe everybody in America needs to stop doing whatever they're doing right now and go read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Go read Cash Flow Quadrant. Go read whatever book on money. When's the last time you saw a president say, go read Think and Grow Rich? Go read Laws of Success. Go read As a Man Thinketh. Go read The Millionaire Next Door. When's the last time a president recommended a book? When's the last time? Why not?
JFK, maybe.
And then what do presidents do behind closed doors? What do you think they're doing? They're reading. How come we don't? Now, here's the other part. When's the last time you saw them recognizing fathers and mothers and how hard it is to be a father and a mother? Actually, when's the last time you saw that recognition? When's the last time? When's the last time you saw somebody recognizing what it is to be a father and a mother? Now, when's the last time you saw them recognizing and maybe even launching their presidential campaign on a RuPaul show?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
On a RuPaul show. This lady named, Indian lady named Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Who did that, right? On RuPaul's show. Okay? So what happened there? What's that all about? What are you advertising? What is this advertising? What is the Olympics advertising? They're advertising this. Are they advertising, hey, to all the parents out there who have kids and to all the kids, I want to start off by telling you, all kids, we all start off with dreams. Every one of these kids had a parent that supported them and them becoming gymnasts and them becoming runners and them becoming this. When's the last time that message? Hey, every one of these, some of you kids that are watching this, that your parents take you to practices, that your parents drive you on the weekends, that your parents take you on travel teams, make sure you tell your parents you love them. Make sure you tell your parents you're thankful for them. Make sure you tell your parents that they're amazing for doing what they're doing. They're taking time away from each other. They're putting time into you. That tells you how much they love you. Why aren't we getting a message like that to edify parents and the kids that are giving their best? Why are we not doing that? That's the problem. So good for Putin for going back to family values, traditional family values. And by the way, to the folks at WAPO and all these other people that want feminist values, if America doesn't go back to family values, this will be a very different place very soon, especially with the rate we're going right now.
And PBD, I mean, great point. And if you think about it, it's not as if they're hiding the agenda. When you have people from the World Economic Forum, you have Klaus Schwab, you have Bill Gates saying that the number one problem in our society is what? Overpopulation. It's not as if it's a secret thing that they're trying to push. That's why all these people are backing it. That's why the presidential nominee is sitting in front of a drag race RuPaul thing to kick off her campaign. You know what I mean? It's not even hiding. Look at the Olympics. Look at everything is this push, and it's like you can be a strong, independent woman. You don't need no man. You don't need no this. No. We're going to be extinct at this rate. We're going to be extinct.
I'd like to not correct you, but I want to amplify something.
Yeah.
The WEF is not saying the population is a problem. They're saying depopulation is necessary.
Yeah.
And there's a gap there. It's like the Germans saying, hey, we believe that Jewish people in our society are causing problems, versus the Germans saying, hey, for a more perfect Aryan nation, we're going to round them up and exterminate them. That is completely different. And that is what the WEF is talking about. They're talking about depopulation.
Yeah.
And so, you cannot applaud how Putin executes his leadership. It's pretty brutal and pretty horrifying. But what he is saying about what they hold dear, and if you read about it, the average Russian will tell you what they refer to as Mother Russia. They have a deep love for their country, but they have deep disdain for a lot of their leadership. Gee, that kind of sounds familiar. If you got together with a Russian person and say, do you love your country? I love my country and what it all represents. I remember this is where I grew up. I have disdain for my leadership. Guess what? We have something in common, dude.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
I'll just add one more thing. So you remember a few months ago, there was the speech that this guy Harrison Butker made?
Yeah.
Where in the past, if he said, ladies, enjoy being mothers, have a family, support your man, live your life, that would not have been a controversial speech. But in the day that we're living in today, oh my God, he's public enemy number one. He's racist, he's misogynist, he's crazy. So we're living in this time where if you believe in traditional values, you're the bad guy. And I fully agree with Pat on the hero making machine. when you came and you dressed up as a trans person and came on my show, you said something very fitting. You're like, trans is the new trend, Adam.
Yeah.
And it is. And, we had the conversation about Bill Maher and kind of where he's at. Remember the stat, I sent it to Rob, about what percentage of generations.
Of 5 generations.
Are basically now identify as LGBT. The numbers are looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So, the baby boomers, 1%. Gen X, 2%, millennials, 5-10%, Gen Z, now almost 20% identify with this LGBT movement.
Let's go to the
So we're
next.
trending in the wrong direction.
Yes, and by the way, they almost depopulated one additional person who was a former president. They tried to do that, but acting Secret Service director hurt by counter snipers, email ripping leadership after Trump shooting. By the way, the back and forth with Josh Hawley, which we want to show this clip to you. We're going to show you 2 clips, so let me just read this to you, and I'll go to Rob here. During a Senate hearing, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn confronted acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe over an email from a counter sniper criticizing the agency's leadership following the July 13th assassination attempt on former President Trump. The email stated, "This agency needs to change, and if not now, when? The next assassination in 30 days." And claimed the U.S. Secret Service motto is CYA, cover your ass. Rowe responded, I'm hurt because my people are hurting right now. Rob, play this clip, and then we'll go to the other one as well. Go for it.
Senator, so I'm hurt by that email, but not in the way you think I'm saying it. I'm hurt because my people are hurting right now. We need them.
Then why did somebody delete the email?
I'll get back to you on that.
The agency deleted the email.
But may I address your question?
Yes, please.
I will get back to you as to whether
Yes.
the email was deleted or not. My agency is hurting. Emotions are raw. I actually want to hear more from that UD officer, that technician. In his email, he referenced that he had spent time serving our nation as a United States Marine, that he is a 20-year professional of the Secret Service. I am committed to being a change agent, meaning I am committed to reviewing some of these things. I looked at the points in his email very quickly. I saw it as I was on my way over here this morning. I want to have further conversations, not only with him, but also the counter supervisors.
If I may step back in.
Literally just filibustering.
Oh, my God.
It's filibustering. They deleted the email, people.
Go ahead, Rob. Do you have the Josh Hawley one?
Yes, this one's more explosive.
Go ahead.
Insurance, and as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to
individuals,
investigate to know
exactly what the
more do you need to
process
investigate
was?
to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their
I cannot
jobs.
put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the
objective? You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the
Is it
Secret
not
Service.
prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
Then
just like you
fire
have.
somebody to
And I will
hold them
tell you,
accountable.
Senator, I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people
I can't believe
unfairly
that you
persecuted.
are unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly,
We've got people
sir,
who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it. Let me ask you something else. The Real Clear Politics reports this morning that you were directly involved in denying additional security resources and personnel, including counter snipers, not just to this event, but over the last 2 years that President Trump's team repeatedly asked for these additional resources, and you personally were involved in denying them. Is that true?
Senator, as I stated earlier, that is not true.
So you never denied any resources to former President Trump's team?
No, not me. No, sir.
And you weren't involved in any of that? You were never involved in the decision making?
No, sir, I was not.
Let me ask you just one or two other things here quickly. Well, whistleblowers tell me that, in fact, law enforcement were stationed to be on that roof and that law enforcement abandoned their post because it was too hot. Is that accurate?
Senator, I have heard that as well. Again,
you can pause this right now. I mean, you see Josh Hawley's pushing him. By the way, another story comes out right after this, talking about the fact that the Secret Service sniper warns another assassination attempt could be imminent as agency's failures are exposed. We all should expect another attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership, warned Secret Service sniper in letter, adding this agency needs to change. If not now, when? The next assassination attempt in 30 days. Veteran agent criticized supervisors. Sadly, we have fallen short for years. Is this it, Rob?
Yep.
Sadly, we have fallen short for years. We just got lucky and look good doing it. I have conveyed these thoughts to not only our supervisors, only to be brushed off as those with less experience somehow knew more than me, describing in July 13 attack as a stain I will never be able to cleanse. Security failures expose a full 30-second lapse between when local police officers confronted Gunman Thomas Crooks and the first shot fired at Trump, local cops encircling the building he shot from more than 2 minutes before the attack. Vinny, when you hear stuff like this, you're hearing Josh Hawley, you're hearing the director of Secret Service, what are you thinking?
My opinion is that, listen, incompetence we talked about, gross negligence, whatever you want to call it. If, God forbid, Trump was killed, we'd be in the same exact place. He'd be in the same spot. Kim Cheetah would be, she'd step down, Pat. She wouldn't go to prison. We'd be exactly where we are. And when we have a whistleblower coming out, by the way, this guy's on the inside. He is a Secret Service member saying he will not stop until the 5 high-level supervisors are all gone. You know what that means? He doesn't trust any of them because apparently to me, I take it as if they have maybe some bias against the president. To have that type of failure is absolutely unbelievable. And for him to say that it might happen again before November, that should scare the hell out of everybody, including Donald Trump. Like, and he's still doing these. He just went to PA. He was there yesterday. And I get it. You want to show the force, but I mean, come on. When they're telling you, listen, you're not secure. The head of the Secret Service, I mean, people in there are not securing you. Like, what are we talking about? And the talk about denial, RFK just got it. They just gave a guy whose father and uncle was murdered, and now they're like, okay, since this guy was almost killed, we're going to give it to you. It's unbelievable.
And the Biden administration took credit for the decision over Mayorkas to give protection to RFK Jr. So I look at it this way. You know, this is where whistleblowers need to be protected. And usually the authority over them, has the power of their paycheck and their livelihood. And so I think this whistleblower should be, pulled out of the Secret Service, given the opportunity to cooperate in exchange for their full pension, and then put in front of the investigative committee so they could testify and prove all the stuff. Because remember, sometimes whistleblowers just have a few words. Other time whistleblowers have emails, dates, descriptions, conversations, text messages. So if this whistleblower is not just sending some, crazy email, if they really have it, then say, guess what? Here's your subpoena. You're going to be before Congress. We are securing your pension and your whistleblower protection. Come on and testify. Now you can get a real investigation going. You see where I'm going here?
And let me ask you a question, Tom, if you don't mind, Pat.
And if there's 5 people in there, let's get them named.
But Tom, and I can understand, because think about this. If whistleblowers felt safe enough to come forward to not worry about, prison or, getting arrested, losing their job.
No, whistleblowers worry. It's not the mob. Whistleblowers worry about livelihood most of the time in corporate America.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you're reporting Boeing defects, and then you could, accidentally suffocate yourself in a car. But for the most part, whistleblowers are concerned about their livelihoods.
But so going to my point,
and the ability to support their family.
Shouldn't there be an organization, like I'm talking about a legitimate, prominent organization that has something set up for whistleblowers that obviously, like people, obviously, you have to pay for?
We do. It's called FBI Witness Protection, and it's also called congressional committees.
Tom, I wouldn't trust the FBI at all. At this point, at all.
Get it.
I'm saying an independent place. Pat, think about this: an independent organization that we fund, and where if you come up, Adam, and you're a credible whistleblower, we fact check, we do a background, we don't. By the way, you could prevent an assassination attempt on the president of the United States. We'll take care of you. The fund will take care of you to get you back on your feet because we need to hear this. Imagine the people, Tom, that knew the security failure, and we're hearing it right now. If they had come out earlier and said, "Hey guys, at this event, do not let President Trump go up. They're failing to put snipers on this roof. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. We already have a patsy." I'd want to know that beforehand as a whistleblower and to know that I'd be protected monetarily, my future, if I did it.
Well, that's the line of conspiracy that gets really, really sticky. On one hand, do you say, did the Secret Service, through incompetence and lack of good oversight, just absolutely fumble on what's happened? Is that it? That's possible. That's very possible. That, guess what? There weren't 10 shooters. There weren't all the stuff. This is what happened.
By the way, let me show you
On
this.
the other hand, did they intentionally enable it? That is the Rubicon.
Yeah. Let me show you guys. This is the first time Trump's done this, and Gateway Pundit showed this. Yesterday, Trump retweeted, or they call it retruth, this picture right here. What did you know? And when did you know about it?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know who ordered the assassination attempt, he says, if you want to know who ordered the assassination attempt, he's blaming Ray. Okay. Did you hear this?
Yep.
So he's blaming Ray's. You can't see what it's saying below it because that picture is covering it.
Well, there we go.
The FBI director, Christopher Wray.
The FBI director
appointed.
That Trump appointed. So if you want to know who ordered the assassination of Donald J. Trump. So now, Trump goes here yesterday. This is like, I mean, you know this claim. I mean, he stayed pretty not going to speculation.
He's been neutral. Big
He's been neutral. But he just went there for the first time yesterday, and they reported on it. Adam.
No, literally, this is where I was going with this. So the conversation I would want to have with you guys is this Josh Hawley and the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe, is this a conversation that's a net positive or a net negative for society? The conversation that they're having, is it a net positive or net negative?
I think it's positive for sure.
I fully agree with you. Because my opinion is that conversation right there is what makes America great. So, you know, the famous quote, sunlight is the best disinfectant. This is actually what we need. And they said a few buzzwords that we actually need this discussion because we need accountability and we need transparency. Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. He said this was a colossal failure and we need to get to the bottom of it. And the acting Secret Service literally almost choked up. Did you notice that? Like, he got very emotional.
Yeah, I saw it.
If you're testifying in Congress and you choke up, I don't think this guy's a professional actor. I was like, oh my God. By the way, he's the acting director. Kimberly Cheeto was just, stepped down, 5 days ago, whatever the number was. This is what makes America great. Why? We just talked about Putin. You think they're having this conversation in Russia when Navalny ends up dead? No, it's just yesterday's news. Or the guy that got shot down, what was his name? Whatever his name was, the guy that ran the Wagner group. He's not even a discussion anymore. Gone, dead. You think they're having this conversation in Venezuela with Maduro? You think she's having this conversation? You think the Ayatollahs are having this conversation? This is what makes America great. Democracy is ugly, but at least we get to see it and there's transparency right there. Last point, to bring it back home to what Pat said, the Warren Commission, you brought this up the other day, Tom. The Warren Commission was basically to get to the bottom of who the hell killed JFK, right? This is the Warren Commission, but with JFK alive, being Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You don't think he has some vested interest in finding out the truth? Who tried to shoot him in the face?
Yeah, but
exactly.
But when you say we want to get to the bottom of that, and people have to realize, though, we've been trying to get to the bottom of the JFK assassination since 1963. There's still documents that we can't see because it would ruin the CIA and ruin the FBI. So this type of thing, it just frustrates the average American like me because we know this isn't going to lead to anything, because how many hearings, how many Fauci hearings, how many do we have to hear as Americans where we are basically controlled opposition? We go, yeah, yell at Fauci. And then what, Adam? The guy's walking around with Secret Service protection. So people like me, the angry patriot, I'm angry, I'm frustrated because this is happening and we love it. Yeah, hold his foot to the fire. And then what?
But here's my point.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but here's where you're actually wrong.
Go ahead.
Because if Trump actually gets elected,
yeah,
you don't think he's going to have some vested interest in the one word you're talking about? Accountability. So if Trump gets elected and he's like, all right, let's figure out who tried to kill me, you don't think he's going to try to figure that out? Do you think the presidents know who killed JFK? Do you think they actually?
Sure. I think Donald Trump knows. He saw all the documents.
You think Obama knows? You think Biden knows?
Sure. Biden doesn't know anything. But going back to my point is Trump, Adam, whoever these guys, the reason that they want Trump gone, period, killed, whatever the hell they want, because he's going to release what you said.
But be careful what you're saying, Vin,
what?
Because if you're saying that every president knows, that means you're saying that every single president, Republican, Democrat, is lying to you.
They all lie. That we're all these politicians.
By the way, if they're part of the establishment, yes, of course. If they're part of the establishment, absolutely, they do.
What about Trump, though?
He knows.
So what's if they're part of the establishment, they're not going to give the answer. By the way, question for you: what's your percentage, Tom, of the fact that there's going to be another assassination attempt between now and November 5th?
Great question.
What's your percentage? Where are you at?
I am nervously 50-50.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I'm nervously 50-50. Because when you get everybody revved up and you say these kind of things in the media, you enable weak-minded lone wolves. And I'm really worried. So I'm nervously 50-50.
I'm at 70-30, and you know why? Because the reason they have to stop him, Pat. He has, Adam, you nailed it. All the documents, all the crossfire, and you said it, the year of investigation, the moment he gets in, it's retribution time. And that's what they're petrified. Obama, all of them, they all spied. He's going to go after everybody. 70-30.
Adam.
Well, the likelihood that somebody is going to try to do something, very high. In the 80s, 90s, whether it's going to happen, I would hope that it's very low. You know, Trump, he was given the opportunity to basically say, no more outdoor rallies. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. So you're dealing with a guy who's basically saying, I don't care what you want me to do. Step your game up. I literally believe those were his words, like, do better. So outdoor rallies, indoor rallies, they better come full protection mode because there's no doubt some people don't want to see this guy become the president.
Where you at?
What's your number, PBD?
I'm at 5 to 10% was where I'm at. And by the way, that they'll actually pull it off and succeed at it. I do think there's going to be some very weird things happening that we never thought about that could be out of control of him, for them to spin it and say, oh my God, that is so terrible. And how this took place. And we were, this is so devastating. But because of this, we have to go to XYZ. And this is what's going to be, because they can't play this again the next 4 months. They cannot. If they do it, that's audacity if they do it. If they do it, that's a lot of audacity for them. And in regards to Trump still going out, that's why he's got the loyal following that he has.
Yes.
Because he's got the brass to go out when you tell him and say, wait, you want me to play scared? You want me to play for what they want me to do? You want me to be like, I'm going to be in the basement like the previous guy that was so scared hiding? I'm not that guy. You voted for me because I'm getting out there talking to people, and that's why he gets the followership that he does.
I have to push back on that.
You can.
I agree with you.
Yeah, you can.
But we talked about this Tuesday. Trump doesn't need to go do those rallies because what percentage of people that show up to those rallies are already voting for Trump? 99.999. They're voting for him. He's preaching to the choir. And listen, this is how he made his brand. He probably loves it, right? He doesn't do this because he loves it. Yeah. And I get that. But you're not in the preaching to the choir business anymore, Trump. You are now in the conversion business. So how are you going to convert people? Because right now, Trump's ceiling and floor is 42%, 44%, 40%. How are you going to get to 50%? How are you going to get the independents? How are you going to get the women? How are you going to get... That's what he needs to do. So the rallies are great. I love it. I understand. But you're getting exposed, maybe getting shot. Yeah. But you're not converting anybody at that rally.
He's not going to stop doing that. A part of that strategy of converting is not to convert, is for the American people to compare. That's why you do the rallies. You know, in this transitions perfectly into this next story that I'll read to you from Jamie Dimon. Okay, Rob, if you want to pull this up, I'll just read the article. Literally, I'm going to read the article to you, and this tells you exactly why he's going to continue. Story comes out yesterday. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says business travel is essential for leaders who don't want to fail. Okay, who don't want to fail. Rob, if you want to go, I just want to go through it. Business travel, long-time vital part of a CEO's job. He is the CEO of America. Is rebounding for pre-pandemic norms, despite the increase on and for one good reason. JP Morgan, who admits he's constantly on the road because executives must prioritize face-to-face interactions with their employees, customers, and clients. You can say you can replace those words if you go to the top again. Face-to-face interactions with their voters.
Bingo.
With their base. Okay, go to the next one. All right, leaders have to get out. They have to get out all the time. They have to be curious, ask a million questions. He recently said on LinkedIn, this is working series. Corporate travel, according to Dimon, also allows leaders to identify and learn from competitors about their company's market position, as well as clients' need and criticism. I always tell a client, when you complain to us, you're doing us a favor. If we're torturing you, we're probably torturing another 10,000 or 100,000 people, right? Meaning if you're not happy with us, we're probably doing it to others as well. The banking chief swatted away the excuse from any leader who thinks they're too busy to leave their desks or maybe just work 10 to 4. If you know anybody that only works 10 to 4. Or maybe even somebody that has never visited the border, but she's also never visited Europe. I mean, what's the big deal, right? They're making a huge mistake. If you don't have an accurate assessment of the real world out there, what's changing, what they're doing, what the ideas are, you will eventually fail. Companies with such leaders become stagnant, bureaucratic, and complacent. The opposite of those attributes, said the Wall Street Titan, is curiosity, grit, and heart. Who do you think about when you think about those three? Curiosity, grit, and heart. Reminds me of somebody that's running for office. He cited the bank's venture into AI around 2012. That year, he sent his top consumer banking team to China and set up meetings with major companies, including Ping An, WeChat, Tencent, and Alibaba. You can imagine how it opens their eyes, said Dimon. They didn't realize what's going on over there in terms of super apps, and so it changes your own ability of what you can do here. The CEO said he's often amazed by how many leaders lack a realistic assessment of what's going on beyond their limited scope in both the public and the private sector. This leads to creation of poor policies. Again, that's politics to me. Complacency in politics is the petri dish of death. And the antidote to that is that you're always learning, always curious. I mean, I can continue reading this article. This is what he is doing, going out there. Imagine he's sitting there saying, oh my God, you know, by the way, during the pandemic, during the last 4 years, how many banks did Chase pick up? How many banks did Chase buy? Where does Chase rank as the safest bank right now worldwide to have your money in? You know, what did Chase do? How many deals did they do? How many companies did they buy? This is the part of Trump where he's out there shaking hands, talking to people, and you have to sit on the opposite side and see if the other person's doing it or not. By the way, you know who Trump is thinking about for his type in Donald Trump and then type in Jamie Dimon. Type in Donald Trump, Jamie Dimon, zoom in. Jamie Dimon is being considered for the Treasury Secretary, but now says he doesn't know who said that. Of course, he's supposed to say he doesn't know who said that. Yeah. But imagine this. They don't have to agree politically with each other, but there's a lot in common there. Tom, what do you think about this story with Jamie Dimon and him talking about leaders working?
Well, Jamie Dimon has always been the leader of leaders in the banking community. When you look at where JP Morgan Chase is and you drop down to B of A and Goldman and everybody else, there is a huge drop from first to second. And you're correct. Dimon has put Chase in position. Everybody's always being opportunistic so he can grow. Well, he's also picking up failed banks that are protecting the customers of those banks, where you can say, but in being a capitalist, is he saving that bank and the services that are going to the businesses and people there? Sure he is. But I think he's absolutely right. You know, if I may, we were in, I won't say the name unless you want to say the name. Pat and I were in New York with one of the 4 senior leaders of the U.S. banking industry, and he said they expect their people to show up, be with each other, be with the customers, and have commitment and grit. It was the same list, and people talking about coming together. But I think this is Diamond showing leadership. I think he's showing his superior management and how he's grown it. And I think he's also showing why, if he ends up being Treasury Secretary, you know, there's a lot of people going to say, oh, he's going to favor Chase and everything. But you go take a look. I think he would be one of the very strong candidates to do that and do it right for the benefit of the American economy.
Adam.
So do I agree with Jamie Dimon? Yeah, you betcha. And there's a lot of lessons that I've learned from PBD and what you've done, especially with the Lincoln on leadership, basically circulating the troops. We learned this during COVID. You know, what companies boomed during COVID and what companies fell. Where's Zoom stock these days? Because I don't know if you could pull that up. I doubt it looks as good as it was in 2020. Zoom. It's probably plummeted. But I think we've all understand the necessity of being around people and touching people. I mean, kudos to you. I mean, we're about to do the vault in a month. That's because we want to be around thousands of our fans and friends and colleagues, everything like that. Everything you do with the SLS, everything you do with the business planning workshop, everything you do with the live events. We want to be in the same room. Totally understand that. You know, where it comes to Trump, and this is where we kind of were talking about in the last segment, is there is a difference between home games and away games. Home games are easy, man. You're playing in front of your crowd. That's what a Trump rally is. You got to give Trump credit. He'll go play away games. And that's the toughest thing to do. How do you win on the road? You don't see Biden doing the away game thing. Kamala, she's going on RuPaul doing her thing. Good luck going on Fox News, Kamala. Trump will show up to CNN. He'll show up to MSNBC. He'll show up to, what was the thing he just argued with, the black journalists conference, whatever it was?
That's exactly where we're going to next.
You got to respect that. I don't know any Democrat out there other than Bernie Sanders that will show up anywhere. So let's see if Kamala has the chutzpah, as they say, to show up on, thank you, to show up on away games. And that's the difference.
But Rob, why don't you pull that up, actually? National Association of Black Journalists. And he's there, and the lady starts off with this question. And if you haven't already seen this, I'll let you react to it. Go for it, Rob.
Watch him reaction.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner, a first question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Yep. Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
Good, he's back.
And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina.
Okay.
He's back.
That's where it ended?
Rob, is there another clip you got? Yeah. Do you have the water bottle clip? Anyways, play a different clip if you got them. We'll get to the water bottle clip.
I love it.
This one is also one that has been all over Twitter. This is where Trump talks about Kamala Harris and her ethnicity.
That's right. Go for it.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question, a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
It. Define it for me, if you
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect
she went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't. because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans
really don't
have
know.
said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be.
All right, I got so much to say on this.
But do you guys realize that he is back? And you talked about it on Jesse Waters. This guy's been chill. He's been whatever. But they tried to kill him, and he still stayed calm. Now this is the old Donald Trump. He was cool, collected, and did you see how bitter and angry and like she was drooling for this moment to just try to get him? But you can't play with the ultimate troll. What are you gonna say, Rob?
Well, and to the point, the journalist says that Kamala Harris has always identified herself as a black woman. But here's a clip. I'll just play it.
Yeah, this is the press.
Tom, rewind, please. Go back a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so, were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food.
Isn't that weird though? Isn't it weird that she's been Indian this whole time, but now because she knows that the black vote's so important, they have to bring Megyn the Stallion on a stage to twerk in Atlanta in front of thousands of people, and the moment Kamala started talking, people started leaving.
Yeah, and this is, I'm sorry I interrupted the first 2 seconds of that clip. But the point simply is, the media is testifying and gaslighting for Harris. Trump has to beat Harris and the entire media. It's the Hillary election all over again, and this is what he's up against.
Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is it's not just a white woman; it is now a woman of color. So, Pat, she said it right there. She's half Indian, half black.
Jamaican. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Just like Pat is half Assyrian, half Armenian, but he's born in Iran. It's a complicated mix.
Yeah.
You're 100% Assyrian, but your family's from where?
Iran.
So you're Persian. Tom's white, but his family's from Canada, apparently, but he's American. We're all a mix of something. Okay, so
nationalist.
So here's my question to Trump, and it's basically the same conversation we have. That conversation right there, respect to Trump, straight up. He's going to play away games. He's on the road in a hostile environment. We just talked about this. Here's my question. Is that conversation right there, think about it, who's that converting? Did he convert anybody? Did he bring more people to his side? If the answer is yes, then keep doing that, bro. If the answer is no, I would ask you to maybe rethink your approach, because I'm such in a great place on Trump right now, where me personally, where I wasn't in the Trump camp, obviously, but I've seen this slow progression of what's happened in the Democratic Party, and it literally disgusts me. Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to paint Trump right now as the playing the identity politics. You're playing the color game. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen of the Democratic Party, you are the kings and queens, yes, queen of identity politics. So don't play that game. Yep. Like, you're Megyn the Stallion, or the homegirl, the Indian girl right there, the actress that was on The Office. You're the kings and queens of identity politics. So he's playing your game. And by the way, Trump did say all those things. That's fine.
Yeah,
I did say those things. But you have to give him respect for going to play away games, just like how you gave advice to Trump the other day. My only piece of advice is, are you converting people, or are you basically pushing people away? That's what he needs to think
And
about.
last point, Pat, just being Jamaican. Mike sent this to me because Mike's Jamaican. Jamaican isn't African American. I hope people all understand that.
Everyone knows that because they're Jamaican.
No,
They're
not everybody.
American.
They have two different histories. So her playing this whole black card, it's not.
Vinny,
she's I know
a white Jewish guy and a Syrian guy having this conversation is a little ironic.
It's funny,
but the Jamaicans, whether you want to, they're black.
Yeah, of course. But
Okay,
they're
so
not
that's all.
But they're not African American.
Correct.
Okay,
but she's saying black.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah, right there. It says someone who was born in Jamaica and lives in U.S. might identify as black, but not African American.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're not from Africa.
By the way,
they're from
this
the
whole
Caribbean.
story comes out about Kamala Harris is having the best week of. Where's that story at? Where her popularity, Harris.
Polling bounce.
Yeah,
Big
the
week.
polling bounce that she had. Not bouncing on a poll, just like polling bounce that she had where it's a increase. My English is always off a little bit here and there. So Kamala Harris's popularity
Adjectives
reaches
before nouns.
record high. Rob, can you play the clip I just sent to you, Rob? Play the clip I just sent to you because they're telling us she's the greatest of all time and how amazing of a VP was. And this is mainstream media pre her being the presidential candidate. Go ahead, Rob.
Reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border.
Bidenomics is working. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest.
But by the way, did you see the video of what she said, Rob? I don't know if you guys saw this or not. What she said yesterday. She said, Trump's the reason the border is problematic, but if you vote for me, I will fix the border.
She didn't say that.
Are you guys joking? You didn't see this?
No.
Tell me you're joking. Hang on.
Carrying water.
Rob, do me a favor and play this clip. This is what she just said, and let me see exactly when it was. 7:30. 7:30 is what? 2 days ago. She just said this. When you see this clip, your angry patriot side's about to come out.
I
so
think
just
you're
watch it.
I still think you're absolutely.
I'm telling you,
trolling.
watch this.
We're
Go
about
ahead.
to sell some shirts.
Watch this. Hang on. Watch. No, rewind. I want him to hear. Tom, say nothing, Tom. Just listen. Go ahead.
Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself. And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem.
This is real? Is this real?
Yeah. So here is my pledge to you. Donald.
She says
it's so absurd. It's so absurd.
Hold on. She's the border czar. You're the emperor of the border.
I know she wasn't. She was not the border czar. She was never the border czar.
Yeah, yes,
the
yeah,
media has been doing that for a week.
I still think, by the way, it's sad that I have to look to make sure this isn't AI generated, but none of our people believe that. There's no way you believe that.
Look, the media is gaslighting, and the media is carrying water for her. As I keep saying it, and over again. And guess what? What did Hillary do over and over again? Pick an issue, accuse the other person of what you're doing, and take credit for the fix.
Exactly. You know who said that? Do you know who said that a long time ago?
Pelosi?
Rob, I want you to pull this up.
Was it the schmear?
No.
Let him go. Keep
I'm going to show you who said exactly what Tom just said. Said that a long time ago, Rob. Post that quote up there. Post that quote up there. This is, zoom in. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propaganda minister.
Yeah, oh boy! Wow, so great playbook.
They're saying that the other side, Trump is the reason for messing up the border. And by the way, this is all you have to ask yourself: how many people will that work on?
Oh, not
so many. No, hear me out. No, hear me out. It's actually very important to ask this question.
It's huge.
The amount of people, like right there, the people that she's talking to, how many people, no matter what she says, will sit there and say, she's right? How many people?
In that audience,
About 40,
in Atlanta?
42
in Atlanta?
to 44%, the core.
No. The audience in Atlanta.
85, 90.
I'm going to say even more than that, right? That's going to believe her. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But go to the people who are the audience that the vote matters to. How many of them, of the independents who are educated people who have watched what she's done, who are Democrats, will sit there and say, oh, listen, honey, we're going to vote for her, but she's so full of shit.
Yeah.
How many people say that? How many people actually sitting there saying, what's she talking about? Everybody knows you're the reason why the border sucks. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I'll tell you, I have facts behind this, not opinion. What's very interesting, in the polling bounce, I've been doing research on polling bounce, and in Arizona, when they started asking people, what are your top 3 issues? All of them, independent, Democrat, Republican, Arizona, had the same 3 issues in the same order. Immigration, economy, women's rights, in the same order. Why? Immigration, number 1. The intensity of the response from all voters in Arizona on immigration was like at an 8 out of 10 on the intensity scale. Why? It's live, living, and it's in their front yard. You don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to see the homeless people and to see the immigrants walking around and making you not feel safe in Arizona. You see that? So it's number 1 for all voters in Arizona saying, hey, this is messed up. We can't have this. Doesn't matter political party. Now you go to Missouri, guess what the intensity level was? The intensity level was like 2.5 to 3. Why? Because immigrants aren't going around Missouri, and it becomes a theoretical argument between me, a Democrat, let's say, and you, a Republican. We're just yelling and screaming at each other. So what has happened, there are places, PBD, where it doesn't matter what she say. If she gave that speech in Arizona, everybody in the audience would say, dude, come on, Kamala, the immigration is a huge problem here. You're just talking. And they're not going to believe that. But that's just Arizona. The rest of the places, you could have 90% of the people in Georgia going, yeah, go.
I'll give you a little feedback here. So in storytelling and in comedy, there is a universal theme that transcends and works, and it is called the art of the callback. Vinny, you would know this. When you say something up front, and then you do your act, and then you bring up that story back. Oh my God, it came out of nowhere. Now, here's my thing. What's Trump's callback going to be? I'll tell you what it is, and it's so obvious to me. What was the map or the graph that he was showing when he got shot? What was it?
Immigration.
Oh my God. We can show that, Rob.
Random.
He brought that graph up at his speech of the RNC. Do you remember that? And he gave look at this map. I love this graph. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. That is going to be a common theme he's going to bring up. Now, if he's on the debate stage with Kamala, you don't think that graph is coming back up? Yeah. Here it is right here.
Yeah.
Hey, Kamala.
Look how many graphs are on there.
Hey, Kamala, listen, baby. DEI, MEI, whatever you are.
Yeah.
You are this graph, girl.
Yeah.
You're the reason I'm doing this graph. You're the borders are. No matter how much the mainstream media is trying to whitewash or blackwash what her job was as the borders are, we all know that it was her job to go visit the border, which she didn't do. So don't be surprised when Trump busts out this graph the billionth time.
But no, Adam, great point. But what I think the point that he's trying to make is how many people that still kind of know this are going to go, I don't care as long as it's not Trump. Because this, by the way, she's running on, I'm not Trump. Anything but Trump. And Rob, speaking of that chart, can you show that video? Is it all right, Pat? The video of the girl. Trump yesterday brought up the girl that put up the chart that made him look, and he basically said that it saved his life. And he's like, I love that girl. She's a smart. He called her like a computer. He goes, is this it, Rob?
It is. Let me fast forward to where he brings on stage.
Like he's like, where's that chart? I love that chart. Dude, look at all the people back there.
I love that chart.
What I tell you?
I'm going to sleep with that chart for the rest of my life. That chart.
Oh.
You know, the amazing thing, the people that operate the computers and all the brilliant equipment we have backstage. She said to me, she's great. She's great. She should come out. Just tell her to come out here for a second. Quick. You got to get her out. She's never done this before. She saved my life, in a sense. I said, you saved my life. Here she is.
Look at
Wow. Wow.
one chart saved Donald Trump. He kisses her hair.
Yeah.
Kisses her hair.
Don't do a Biden.
Look, kisses her again. Hold on. You got to bring it in for the real thing. Okay, kiss your hair. And then look at
Hi.
And that's it.
Okay, this is Donald
genius.
Trump.
Computer genius. She puts up a chart.
Yes.
She's a genius.
But this is Donald Trump at his best.
I love him.
This is my point of the conversion thing. When he's doing the angry, condescending, the black thing, whatever, he's not winning people over. The chart, Donald J. Trump, use the chart, bring the girl out, give her a kiss, do that, you will win.
Yeah.
If you're being angry and you're arguing with black journalists, it's not a good look.
But here's
to
my
it.
question though, Adam. When I understand 100% with the chart, but when he's sitting there and they're going there with him, he has to punch back. You know that when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, you fight fire with fire. And I get it, but he can't bow down to that type of stuff and be like, well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll tell my Republican base never to use DEI. We know she was hired exactly that because Biden has consistently said, I hired this person because I said I was going to hire a black woman. That's it. Period.
We know that.
Next story. Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh killed in Tehran as Iran vows revenge against Israel. Here we go. As if we don't have enough issues, we have to have another vengeance taking place here with Iran and Israel. Will they do anything is the real question. Let me continue. So Hamas leader Ismail assassinated in Tehran after attending the inauguration of Iran's new president. Hamas announced no one immediately claimed responsibility, but suspicion fell on Israel, which has vowed to kill Hani and other Hamas leaders over the October 7th attack on Israel that killed 1,200 people and took 250 hostages. Hamas blamed Israel for the killing, with Iran vowing a harsh and payphone response. Israel carried out a rare strike on Beirut, killing top Hezbollah commander Fouad Shakur. No relation to Tupac. Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned that Israel could take Lebanon back to the Stone Age, but stated, we don't want to do it. Cross-border attacks between Israel and Lebanon have intensified since the Hamas-led attack on Israel. The assassination on Hania and Shakur could lead to significant regional escalation, with intentional leaders calling for de-escalation to prevent a broader conflict. Adam.
Man, this week officially, you have to ask yourself, are we now closer to a regional war or further away from a regional war? I'll let you guys answer that. I would say that these killings of leaders, as appropriate as they may be, has brought the region, I use that word specifically, the region the closest to a regional war that we've been since October 7th. So let me give you a little context here. Who are they killing? So after October 7th, Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli leadership vowed to do one thing. What was that one thing? They're going to eliminate every single person that helped plan and coordinate October 7th. The only thing that you need to think about is October 7th to Israel is our 9/11. Just digest that for a second. So they went after this guy, Ismail Haniyeh. Now, who is he? He is the political leader of Hamas. So they killed 3 people this month, major people. By the way, they killed him. Do you know where they killed this guy? In Tehran.
Yeah, that's
not in Gaza, not in the West Bank. He was in Tehran. So there's a message there, what I'll tell you in a second. They also killed the Hezbollah military commander. Your boy Tupac was Shakur, Fouad Shakur. They killed him in Beirut, so the capital of Lebanon, Beirut, the capital of Iran, Tehran. And they also killed, this is another thing that just came out in the Wall Street Journal, the Hamas top military leader, which his name is Mohammed Deif. Now, there's another guy called Yahya Sinwar that they still need to go after. By the way, all these guys, they're on the U.S. terror watch list. Like, these aren't good dudes. Say what you will. So there's builders, and then there's destroyers. These guys don't build anything. Their goal is to destroy. And who are they looking to destroy? They're looking to destroy Israel. They're looking to destroy America. They're looking to destroy American values. So Ismail Haniyeh, now this is something that you'll probably resonate with you. where did this guy become famous? Have you ever heard his name before?
Which guy?
Ishmael Hanina. You can show his face.
The Ishmael guy? I still don't even remember.
Just show his face. So I want to get your opinion on this, and then
okay.
Ishmael Hanina, this guy right here. Why did he become famous? Was he in Borat? He was not in Borat. Yeah. Bombastic, threatening, saying wild things. He's been the face of Hamas for decades.
Okay.
The political face.
And this picture is the before the assassination, right?
Thank you, Tom. The Comedy Act coming soon. So, do you remember in 1983? You probably don't remember this. There was a bombing of a U.S. base in Beirut, Lebanon.
I remember, but I wasn't.
Do you remember this?
Young.
Of course.
Yeah, over 200 soldiers died. It was a barracks, and yeah.
Correct. Thank you, Tom. So he planned that.
Mm-hmm.
That was him. So you know how they say forgive, don't forget? They didn't forgive or forget this guy. And you know who didn't forget? The U.S. as well.
Mm-hmm.
He killed 200 American service people.
Yep.
So this is who this guy is. So you ask the question, like, why is Israel so aligned with America? Because this is who they're going after right here. So this is the message that Israel and the Mossad and Netanyahu, by the way, did you see the video that Netanyahu did after this killing? I can send it to you in a second. Basically, he's like, I'm James Bond, is what he said. Here's the message that they're sending to the Hamas leadership and these Iranian proxies. You ready? Whether it's Hezbollah, yeah, this right here. Whether it's Hezbollah, whether it's Hamas, whether the Houthis. We're going to find you and we're going to get you no matter where you are. You can be in the capital of Tehran, we're going to get you. You could be in the capital of Lebanon, we're going to get you. And that is their goal. They stated that goal. They're going to go after every single planner that planned October 7th. And they're doing that.
But you know what sucks, though? Every single one of those people that you named that died, the very next hour, somebody else stepped up and took their spot. Like, it's not like that vacancy stays open. Like that, and I get it, Adam. Good for them. They deserve to die, and let God judge them, and that's going to be their calling. But you know what? The moment these guys went, the number 2 guy just became the number 1 guy, and that cycle will never stop, and it will keep going. And it's a sad thing, but it's reality.
Great point. And this is the constant game of whack-a-mole that you're playing. Yeah. But the question is, are you just gonna not? Like, so that's like saying, hey, I use the 9/11 analogy. We gotta go get bin Laden. So what are we going to say? No, don't go get bin Laden, because once we kill him, there's going to be someone else that pops up.
No, I'm just being realistic.
What message does that send that you don't kill the attackers of 9/11?
No, I'm saying kill it. No, you're mistaking my point. My point is, it just sucks. We killed. Congratulations. We're happy for the moment. That does not stop. That terrorist organization, those cells, they just next guy up.
But look, you kill Trump, someone else is going to fill his. That's life.
Yeah.
Someone's going to fill that vacuum. But they're not playing. Is this the Netanyahu video where he compares himself to James Bond? Go ahead.
ראית שמשווים אותך לג'יימס בונד? מה פתאום ג'יימס בונד? נתניהו. בנימין נתניהו.
So
what did he say?
He basically, instead of saying Bond, James Bond, he's saying Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Bibi Netanyahu. Look, that's marketing, whether you agree with it or not. That's kind of where he's going. By the way, his approval ratings in Israel, 32%, but now they've gone up a little bit since they've gone after this. But it's not like he's beloved at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I made the analogy that he's the Trump of Israel. He has his base, his 30, 35%, 40% base. I don't know if he's going to win the next election, if there is one, but this is the reality of what's going on in the Middle East right now.
Vinny.
No, I'm just like, my point just being that, I mean, good. Who isn't happy when terrorists are murdered, especially innocent lives that were called, and fellow servicemen. But I think I mean, dude, that idea that terrorism, that war on terror, it'll never stop. There's no face.
Of course.
It just keeps, and
it's like the war on drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never going to stop.
It's going to keep going, and it's just horrible.
Well, if you sit back and say, you know, this reminds me, I can't get around fatalistic and concessionary thinking. It's like saying, just let your kids have, you know, drink, party, have sex, do whatever they want to do in college because they're going to do it anyway. No. You got to stand up and show some leadership at times. And it's painful. And the sausage making of international leadership when people are bloodthirsty.
What?
The correlation between the two with the sausage making, but you're keep
unbelievable, Tom.
No, and international diplomacy, international foreign policy, and responding to really bad people is an ugly, gruesome thing. But if nobody stands up to show the leadership to do something about it, which includes brokering peace, protecting the innocent, and being really tough on those that are the bad actors, it's not easy. It's not beautiful to look at, but it's got to be done.
I think the real question here is Iran going to do anything to Israel? That's the real question that we're not talking about.
Well, what did they do last time? They launched 50 rockets that landed out in the cornfields.
Yeah. So is Iran going to do anything to Israel? Because if you really think about it, Iran's retaliation so far, when they give threats, their score on threats isn't that high. Okay, when they say they're going to do something, it's not a very high threat of we're going to come after you and do X, Y, Z. Now, could this be a different one? Possibly. Are they going to come out and do anything major? Possibly. Will they be successful? Possibly. But based on the last 8 years, they're going to send 50, 100, 200 rockets. They're going to, try to blow something up, and then they're going to say, we seek our vengeance, and they're going to play that clip for their people and move on. Mm-hmm. And everybody moves on. Qassem Soleimani, this one, and then it's going to be similar thing that
a bunch of rabbits in a cornfield die.
That's, and by the way, this guy was a former prime minister of Palestine. This guy wasn't a lightweight.
Ismail Haniyeh.
Yeah, he was a former.
He was the face of political face of Gaza.
Was it a bombing? Yeah. Was it a assassination?
They got him in Tehran. But can I respond to what you're saying? You're absolutely right, PBD, because whether it's Hezbollah, whether it's the Houthis, whether it's Hamas, these are all just Iranian proxies. So Iran is going to respond one way or another. Is it going to be exactly what you said, this sort of faux missile attack that they did the last time earlier this summer, or are they going to use one of their proxies to attack? But Vinny, let me give you a little perspective, and this is something, because you're a Christian, and this is where my mind went when all this was happening, because now you're bringing Lebanon in. Now, Lebanon, other than Egypt, is the most, percentage-wise, it's the most Christian country in the Middle East. I know. So I'm going to give you some quotes out here from our friend Haniyeh, and then you can maybe respond to this, because he said, we promise you that we will not cede any single part of Palestine. We will not cede Jerusalem. We will continue to fight, and we will not lay down our arms. This is the whole from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free, which is AKA, we're going to kill all the Jews. So, but here's their methodology, and this is where I want to bring the Christian. We come to say that the Quran is our constitution. We are committed to God and his holy book, Allah. Allah willing, they should try to carry out their crime against the Quran. Allah will tear the state apart, and it will become Allah's lesson to anyone who tries to desecrate the holy book. There's no man-made laws that they're abiding by. Mm-hmm. This is a mandate from Allah. So I believe them. Pat wrote the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely. I respect the enemy because I absolutely believe that they actually want to take over Jerusalem from the Palestine to the sea to be free. So here's my question to Christians out there. Do you know what percentage of the Middle East was Christian at the turn of the century in 1900? What percentage of the Middle East was Christian around 1900, turn of the century? Take a guess. Take a guess.
40?
40%? What do you got, Tom? Don't show it, Rob.
30?
Turn of the century.
1900.
French Foreign Legion and everything that was over there. It was French Lebanon. I'm going to go 70.
Okay. 70% of the Middle East?
No. Are you talking? Wait.
I'm saying Middle East.
What are you talking about? You're talking
about. You know what the Middle East is, and you know what Christianity is. What percentage of the Middle East was Christian?
I'll go really low. If you're talking about the land that became the Israel state.
No, just Middle East, Tom.
Middle East in general, 5%.
Okay. PBD?
Less than 10 points.
You're actually pretty accurate. 13% in 1900 was Christian population in the Middle East. What is it here?
Boy,
12.7. Yeah, way off. So then you got to ask yourself, where was it at the turn of the 21st century, around 2000, 2010? I won't have it. 5%. So every 100 years, you're losing half the population. There it is, less than 5%. So by the way, by 2050, by the time that you have kids that are grown up, Christians will be 1 to 2% of the Middle East. By the way, where was Jesus from?
Jerusalem.
Nazareth, right?
Nazarene.
Middle East. Christianity started in the Middle East. So you're looking at countries like Egypt, like Lebanon, like Syria, like Iraq, like Iran, that had vast Christian populations. C'est la vie. So if you want to be a Christian in the Middle East, good luck going to visit any of your churches, of your holy areas under certain leadership. By the way, here's a fun fact for you. Egypt, 10 to 15 million current Christians. That's number one. Percentage-wise, Lebanon has the most Christians. But then you go down the list, and you have countries like Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Turkey, Palestine, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. On this list right here, I can show you. Pat, how many Christians are in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Yemen, any of the bottom? That's not percentage, by the way.
Less than 10?
10. Basically saying most Arab countries, dude, don't be Christian. Oh, here it is right here. Iran, Turkey. Like, so as a Christian, you have to look at what's going on in the Middle East and be like, bruh, what's happening here? So I remember I bought you a gift from the Armenian Quarter. In Jerusalem, the beautiful thing about Jerusalem, which Ismail Haniyeh Hamas basically says we want to take over, they want to take over all of it. The beautiful thing about Jerusalem, it's cut into 4 quarters. Did you know this?
Yes.
The Kotel is what it's called. There's the Jewish quarter, there's the Christian quarter, there's the Armenian quarter, and there's the Muslim quarter. Equal access to any single quarter you want. That's the beautiful thing of Jerusalem. Here it is right here, the 4 quarters. If someone like Hamas or someone like in that ilk takes over Jerusalem, there's no quarters. There's one whole. And it's under Hamas rule. So for Christians out there, just understand that this is the whole conversation of why, oh my God, these Christians, evangelical Christians are so supportive of Israel, because I think they recognize if they ever want to go visit places in the Middle East or go see where Jesus was born, they're going to have to go through Israel for that, not Hamas. That's my point.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this conflict has been going for how long now? You got 9 months? Is that what is that?
No, it's gonna be 10 months. It's gonna be October 7th is gonna be a year.
9 months has been going. Let's go to the next story here. So 9/11, the 9/11, Rob, if you can pull up the story from New York Post, I'll read it and I'll go to Vinny on this. So Iman, so U.S. reaches plea deal with alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Vinny, what do you have on this story?
Okay, so by the way, another failure, because this is happening under the Biden administration. The Department of Defense are giving him, he orchestrated the whole thing, and 2 other guys, Walid Mohammed Salik Mubarak, bin Atash, how many names does this guy need? Mustafa Ahmed Adam Halswali. So they pleaded, guilty to all charges, which included murdering almost 3,000 Americans. All right, it's 2,977, and they've been in prison since 2008, making it 16 years behind bars. Under the plea deal, and this is what drove me nuts, they will not face any solitary confinement. They'll continue to have access to legal representation and will be allowed more contact with their families, okay? Now, as an American, as a New Yorker, this is one of the biggest spit-in-the-face moments. Think about, they planned it, they killed all the Americans, what they did and what we've gone through and all the lives that have been lost, they're going to get special treatment and not get the death penalty. What about the families of all the people in New York that lost all their lives? How about this? How about the people that were above where the planes hit that had to decide, I'm going to jump to my death or go back inside and burn to death? And guess what? These guys get to chill and hang out with their, now they're among the other prison population. I get that it's in Guantanamo Bay, but unbelievable that our tax dollars have been paying for them, and they're going to keep paying for them because they said, you know what? Take the death penalty off the table. We want you guys to admit that you did it, and we all know that they did it. And it's just one of the most unbelievable stories that I couldn't believe it. And this didn't make top. Yeah, did you even hear about this? Like they try to slip it in. So these guys are going to continue living. Meanwhile, 3,000 families have to forever deal with this. And meanwhile, the families of the 9/11 victims have separately, this is just ongoing, filed a lawsuit against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Adam, you brought up Saudi Arabia, looking to get some semblance of justice while the military commission process enters. Guess what? Its 23rd year. So these families have no justice, no nothing. Meanwhile, guys that have killed, by the way, other people have gotten the death penalty, Tom. There's 27 states in America that still have the death penalty, that have done lesser crimes. Yeah, kidnapping with a murder or whatever, you get the death penalty. These guys, the biggest terrorist attack on our soil, get to live out their lives comfortably. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and shame on our Department of Defense and the Biden.
What do you think should have happened to them?
But death penalty. The moment we knew, because we're not stupid. They were behind it. Okay, they get the death penalty. Period.
Tom.
Done deal.
So, international criminals in the United States. First of all, I'd like to see them have the death penalty. There's a headline. But international criminals usually don't get that. When we took Manuel Noriega out of Panama, an evil, brutal, killer dictator, we took him down to Miami and we put him in a federal courthouse and then we stuck him in prison. And so foreign actors like this usually get treated like this because behind the scenes, foreign countries are, hey man, don't execute our guy. You're going to keep him in prison, but don't execute him publicly. You're going to have such crazy reaction from my citizens, they will go bonkers. And I think you should get the death penalty. You know, murder, special circumstances, gets capital punishment. And the death penalty is the informal term for capital punishment. This is a capital case. They should have gotten the death penalty. Conspiracy to commit murder, committing murder with special circumstances. But they're foreign nationals. And because they're foreign nationals, this card gets played and everybody worries about inciting violence among others if you carried that out.
Yeah, guess what? Because we got to watch.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
but that's the calculus.
Because we had to see their murder, their 3,000 murder live on television for years and years and years live. They should have executed them and put it live for everybody in America to see them. Go. I'm sorry to be that guy. I'm trying to be a good person, but that's absolutely ridiculous. Go tell that to the families. Go tell that to the families that had people die. Unbelievable. It drives me nuts.
I'm conflicted here, and I'll tell you why. Because the emotional side of me fully agrees with you, Vinny. Oh my God, this guy, we should kill him. Put it on TV. Kill this guy. He killed. Of course. The logical side of me is saying, all right, why aren't they killing this guy? Okay, you ever see the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
We got to pick this guy's brain. We need to understand these people. We got to use this as an asset. We need to allow this guy to make phone calls to family. We need to basically figure out every single way that these people think. You're talking about whack-a-mole. Logically, I'm thinking, let's use this guy. Killing him helps us emotionally. Fucking kill him, of course. Logically, how can we use these people as an asset to find other people? So here's my question. We just had the conversation about how they killed the leader of Hamas in Tehran. How did they kill the leader of Hezbollah, the military commander in Beirut? Because they're using assets to get to the people.
Yeah.
So I don't know about this guy, Sheikh Mohammed, but these guys have family, they have people. Because imagine saying to this guy, you know, how many kids did you have? Oh, I have seven kids. Well, now you only have 3 because we've killed 4. Would you like to see your kids ever again? Yeah, I would. Yeah. Well, let's cut a deal here. That's the logical side of me thinking.
But you just went, because think about it, you just said about the 3 terrorists that were involved with Hamas. They didn't ask families. They just went after them and they killed them. We've had this scumbag for 23 years. We've had him and those 3 guys. I'm sorry, Adam. We've juiced them. We've milked them. We got all the information. Now we're giving him a special treatment because what? He signed a paper that said, you know what? I know you guys know I did it. Now I'm actually admitting that I did it. No.
Vinny,
I don't want. What else are you going to learn about him for 23 years?
It's not him. It's who does he know on the ground. If you ever want to see your family, if you ever want to talk to your kids again, I didn't just make this up.
They just gave him the access.
This is what the CIA, the FBI does. They use people as assets.
Didn't we show video a few weeks ago of a mother celebrating her son's death, who gave his life for the country, and to them it's a martyr, and she was celebrating.
Is this the lady that was like, la, 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 la?
That's right. It was celebrating. So do you really think like
this lady right here?
Yeah, that lady right there. Do you really think where they're... Go ahead.
This is... She's celebrating the fact that her son is a martyr. This is the pay for slay mentality. So their families will now get paid, literally pay for slay, when their son becomes a martyr and he goes up to heaven and gets 72
So the
virgins.
point is, like, you think these guys are sitting there, you threaten them, we're going to take that person's life's going to be that much? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's not. Not saying you're right or wrong. I just don't know in that environment that you're raised, that you're sitting there really fallen for all of that? Maybe, maybe not. Let's go to the next story. A couple stories here before we wrap up. California City rolls out all-electric police fleet, first in U.S. South Pasadena, California has become the first U.S. city to deploy an all-electric fleet, replacing gas-empowered vehicles with 20 Teslas, 10 Model Ys, and 10 Model 3s for detective and administrative work, aiming for significant energy and maintenance savings with annual energy savings of $4,000 a vehicle. The city invested $1.85 million, meaning the city gave Elon Musk $1.85 million. That's what really it means, in a project covering EV charges and lease payments with over 50% of costs met by project partners. Mayor Evelyn Znaimer stated the transition reflects the city's vision of a sustainable future based on both sound fiscal management and environmental stewardship. Sergeant Tony Abdallah highlighted the cost savings and safety benefits, noted the cost savings are undeniable, and being able to bring Tesla's entire suite of crash and safety systems to bear on officer safety and then added benefit above and beyond the economics of operating and maintaining this modern EV fleet. Tom, thoughts on the story?
Well, first of all, this is amazing, but these are politicians that actually managed to tell the truth for 3 minutes and 14 seconds during the press conference. They told the truth about what they were saving for vehicle. It's saving the taxpayer. They told the truth about officers being protected and the crashworthiness of these Teslas being better than the Dodge Chargers and things they were using. They told the truth about the energy saving, and they care about the environment. You just have to remember, when you charge an electric car, you're just moving the exhaust pipe over to the power plant, right? Because the power plant's making electricity. So they all told the truth about it. They told the truth. The irony is, up in Sacramento, the avowed enemy of Elon Musk, Gavin Newsom, is probably just absolutely flipping out because this was a rational, well thought out plan to save the city money, protect the officers better, and reduce emissions to the environment, if you believe that side of it. I think it's just hysterical, the irony. Gavin Newsom, wait, South Pasadena did what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and this comes the day after they just had that war. What was their back and forth on X? That's beautiful. This is perfect timing. Literally the day after.
And by the way, Elon had another war. Rob, if you want to pull up Maduro's clip towards Elon, that Elon retweeted, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. Can you imagine Maduro's out there talking to his military, telling them, did you see this or no? Rob, pull up the clip. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's a clip of Maduro screaming, hollering to his people of what to do to Elon Musk. Not that one. There's one where you see he's literally standing in front of his military.
I think you might have passed it, Rob. Maybe.
Maduro Musk, if you type in.
Does this have to do with the Starlink?
Yeah, play this clip. Go for it.
Elon Musk, quien se mete conmigo, se seca. Quien se mete con Venezuela, se seca. Elon Musk. ¿Quieres pelea? Vamos a darle, Elon Musk. Estoy listo. Soy hijo de Bolívar y de Chávez. No te tengo miedo, Elon Musk. Vamos a darnos, pues. Donde quiera. Como decimos en Caracas, en los barrios. Si tú quieres, yo quiero, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
¿Y dónde?
ISAP, he will check it.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, this...
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
This is exactly what I was referencing.
Wrong country, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I was referencing before. You have Elon Musk, who is a builder and a creator and changing the world, and you have Nicolas Maduro, who is a destroyer and has literally been responsible for destroying Venezuela. We showed the stats of what Venezuela was 50 plus years ago, the #1 economy in Latin America, top 10 economy in the world. Elon Musk is worth how much? $250 billion?
Yes.
What's the GDP of Venezuela? I don't know if you can find that real quick. It's probably not as much as what Elon Musk is worth.
I don't think so.
So
$482 billion.
Okay, so Elon Musk is worth, is that accurate right now? That's in 2014.
Whoa.
What is it in 2024, 10 years later? Because it's probably way less than that. My assumption. But
100, current 102.
Okay, so 10 years ago, it was
GDP
400
is
billion.
currently 102
All right, this is my point. Oh my God, sometimes I'm right. 10 years ago, the GDP was 400 something billion. Now it is 100 billion. So they've lost 75% of their GDP under Nicolas Maduro. I rest my case.
Tom.
I think what you have here is the realization by even strongman of a struggling, dictatorial strongman of a struggling country knows where the real power is. And he's reaching out and he's trying to smack the head of Elon Musk, and he's trying to look tough and look everything, but really he is getting played, and it's embarrassing. It's a bad look. And by the way, you just stole an election and you're a dictator.
Yes.
And so to divert attention, you decide you're going to say, I'll fight Elon Musk. Yeah.
Rob,
great.
play this is the clip I was talking about. I just found it. Watch this clip here. This is Maduro speaking to his military. Well, let me read what Mario Nafal says first and then play the clip. So Maduro gives police instructions amid protests surrounded by a strong security detail. Maduro went out to give instructions. His top priority, keep Elon Musk out by any means. Go ahead.
Acaba de agarrar un procedimiento ahorita con dos chamos que vienen con pistola. Yo muy respetuosamente le pido, por favor, que no agarren porque no tiene justificación. Acaban de pagar $50, está activado el procedimiento. A dos muchachos. ¿Quién les pagó? No tengo más información, me dijeron que venía usted, la información Tinela, aseguré el sitio. No lo suelten. No, lo tengo para allá. Okay. Van saliendo a hacer el procedimiento, no grupo le digo. Correcto. Esta zona ha sido muy violenta, Guarindera. Esta zona aquí, ¿ves? Entonces...
Can you imagine you're sitting there talking to your military about an entrepreneur billionaire in the U.S.?
Yeah. PBD, this is a case example of a capitalist versus a communist.
Yep.
And just look at the numbers, look at the math, look at the growth of Tesla, look at the growth of Neuralink, look at the growth of Starlink, look at the growth of the Boring Company, look at the growth of SpaceX, look at the growth of Elon Musk, and compare that to the last 10 years of Venezuela under Nicolas Maduro. One is trending in the right direction like a rocket ship, and one is literally imploding before our eyes. And the best he has is, hey, Elon, ¿tú quieres pelear? You want to fight me, bro?
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work, Maduro.
Let's save that voice, bro. Go do your bubbles. Go do your bubbles because we don't want this.
These bubbles out of
gang. Enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys for being with us. I think we have a podcast going out tomorrow. Either Russell Peters or a possible secret, a sniper guy,
weapon?
Right? That we're talking about. Sniper maybe going out. So stay tuned for that. If not, have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.